We had our fun out in Belgium and Florida, but it is time for the British sim racers to get another taste of home. Back to the UK it is then, more specifically up to Scotland, for Scotland's premier racecourse, Knockhill Racing Circuit. Hundreds of meters of elevation change, fast chicanes, narrow corners, yep, it is a classic British track. Hello and welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual Knockhill. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with JP Costa alongside. JP, right back at it, another week in a row. Welcome to Knockhill.
Thank you so much. I'm just so happy to be back here at the BSR. As you mentioned, we had our fun in Spa, we had our fun at Daytona, but it's time for these boys to be back home. And what a track, Andrew, to be back here. Knockhill, I mean, it's my first time watching it and commentating a race. I haven't even raced, but from what I've watched from Top Gear and Grand Tour, this is an absolutely fantastic race course.
Yeah, this place is everything that British racing is, right? It started out as a motorcycle circuit back way back in the 70s. Yes, I think. Yes, the 70s, the early 70s, and has since evolved to be certainly a premier British racing circuit. Glad that it's been added to the sim. Some beautiful scenics around the track that you're looking at here, but let's go into the sim and get a look then at everybody getting around here. Qualifying is just getting underway. We had a few moments for these drivers to get up to speed and get some laps in already, but still a long ways to go in this qualifying session. Let's look at the track map. A lot of you guys watching will already know this place, but it's new for both JP and myself. What I love about this most is that you can kind of break it into three parts, three sectors, even if they're a little bit, differently sized. I think it'd be fair to say the first sector kind of feels like Duffus Dip down through Turn 2 and McIntyre. Then you almost kind of begin the middle portion of the circuit through Butchers and Chicane there for Turn 5 and 6. Then once you pop up onto Brabham's, it feels like it starts a whole new circuit, honestly. And you go through Turn 7, Clark, kind of almost a stadium section, it feels like. You got Railway Bend that just flattens out and lets these guys get back up to speed before Taylor's, which is unlike any corner I've ever experienced, ever, in anything, anywhere, ever, on anything. Like, it's just such a weird final corner for a racetrack, but it makes it a whole lot of fun.
I'm gonna mimic your words. I haven't, unfortunately, had the opportunity to drive on this race course, but I'm going to take your word, Andrew. And, well, I'm pretty sure each and every single one of these drivers would back you up on that. So, with all of those challenges, as you mentioned, turns 1, 2, 3, and then the chicane, I guess that's might be the most notorious corner on this race course. Obviously, turn 9, as you mentioned, the challenge on itself, it's just going to produce great racing. I feel like this is a classic British course. It's just challenging, isn't it?
Yeah, I had a conversation when we first brought this series on with some of the drivers about British racing, and one thing that definitely stuck out to me that a lot of the drivers mentioned is how most good British tracks start out as motorcycle circuits. I'd never thought about it before, but you look at Brands Hatch and Knockhill, for example, and they certainly do seem to always start as British motorcycle circuits. And it makes sense then that some of the, I guess, premier races at tracks like Knockhill do include British Superbike and Scottish Superbike. It makes sense when you start to think about it. Let's look at the points going into today's race, though, or races, rather, as we have races 17 through 20. It's round number 5. Andy McEwen comes in with a 7-point lead. Getting kind of used to seeing him atop the point standings. Kind of interesting how good he's been as of late. Adam Delmont with his couple of wins comes in second. Tom Griffiths there in third. You can see Casper DeCourt finally got a race win. It's weird to think that Casper's only got one win, and that came last week at Daytona. It feels like he should have won much earlier. Lars Fischer, James Sharp, they've got wins. Michael Seal and Thor Tullo, the only drivers aside from Andy McEwen in the top 10 that do not have wins. And look at Liam Silkstone. Called a shot last week, thought he was going to grab a race win, was close to it, but is now leading your Pro-Am standings in 11th place overall. And Adam Mitchinson, unfortunately, not here today, but is leading amateur.
Yeah, you can see the points gap between Silkstone and Stewart. That's nearly 200 points difference. That is quite a lot of points that Silkstone has over Stewart. As you mentioned, Mitchinson, well in the lead as well on his class. As you can see, he's 17th overall. He's ahead of Clibbins, Holmes, and even Shore, which are classes that are above the amateur class, naturally. So he's doing a fantastic job. Obviously, you mentioned Seal and Thor Tullo don't have wins. McEwen doesn't have either. He's just showing consistency, how consistency is the key on any sort of championship.
With just under 5 minutes to go in qualifying, let's go down to the track properly and get a look around here as Jason Cooper works on through. Is that 5 and 6? I think so. Yes, it is. That brings him onto Brabham's, and he'll go down to turn number 7 here of Clark. It's going to be a little bit before I think we get used to the circuit properly. I think it'll probably take until race 1 of the touring cars on Thursday, maybe, before we really get acquainted with this place. But this will be a good look at things. Let's go on board with somebody here. Let's go on board with Casper DeCourt as he works out of turn 7.
So this is going to be actually my first opportunity to really take a look at this race course. And as you mentioned, Andrew, this part it's completely different than the middle and first sector. And now I see your point about the final corner. I see. Oh, there we go.
That's exactly what I did most laps in testing here, in practice here. Just getting myself around here and acquainted with it. I mean, it's so easy to do coming up out of Taylor's to just let the rear end go the rest of the way around. I think just the way it compresses coming up over that apex, it's so easy to do. Let's find another driver to go on board with. Let's go with Marcelo Pagden, who actually passed the spinning Casper DeCourt. This is turn 1. This is Duffus Dip. And you guys can correct us by all means if we get any of these corner names wrong. But that's 1, 2, 3, back around the right, and heads on down to Butcher's and the chicane. This place is just wild. It's so wild. And IMSA is coming here later on in the iRacing official season. I don't know how LMP2s and GTDs are going to do here.
Oh, I'm not sure either. This is just like a roller coaster. I'm not quite sure how the suspension is going to handle, especially on the DPs and, as mentioned, GTs. Floor damage, I think every driver will have to deal with it at one point, because there's no way anyone is going to come out of this with a perfectly working car. As you can see now, this is the final corner. He's just making his way. We're going to have to see if he can improve. Currently, he's at 7th place.
Marcelo Pagden here looking like he might be in the green. Across the line, no, Lars Fischer did improve right behind him, so the tow up out of Taylor's likely pretty helpful here for Lars. Gets a few spots, and actually I think Marcelo might have picked up a little bit of the time, but didn't really pick up much as far as position. Stays 7th, and Lars Fischer there at 8th, Tom Griffiths 9th, and Adam McNally actually rounds out the top 10, and he is headed out of Taylor's. He might have a lap here. Let's see, 52, 53, 54, 55... Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, looks like he improves there by just about a tenth. And he does go ahead of Tom Griffiths. Your now Pro-Am pole sitter is actually Michael Leese, who just improved as well.
So there you go. So that might be a new name on pole if this result hold, at least for the amateur class. So he's doing a fantastic job. He might just get a little bit of traffic as they head into the chicane. That's just wild, isn't it, Andrew? Both, three of them.
Oh, yeah. This place is going to be something special here today. That's Clark. Now he comes on through, cuts the inside there, and yeah, this is going to be a wild, wild day of racing, and Thursday as well. Now, we do have a slightly smaller field of cars today, which I think is going to help everybody. I think the drivers that are here for this one are going to be thankful for that. Here's a look at pole sitter Jason Cooper currently. He's got 4 wins on the season, second place in points. I think if my memory serves me correct, was that about right?
Yeah, 5th place.
No, points. 5th place. So yeah. I think he could easily get up past his teammate Casper DeCourt. If I recall correctly, Jason Cooper missed Donington at the very least, if not also some of Brands Hatch. I think he just missed Donington for round 1, so he already was kind of fighting from the back end. Could you imagine if he was here for week 1?
Yeah, I mean, the points tally might have been a lot different. I'm pretty sure he's the reigning champion as well. That's why he runs the number 1 car. But yeah, he's just might be on a league of his own. I might dare say that. You know, he's the driver that has the most amount of wins, so he's just dominating. For Tulo, I guess he had an upship in form, I guess you could say, Andrew. He was in the top 10 a few times at Daytona. Hopefully that was a bounce back for him in the season.
We'll see what he can do. He's 15th right now in qualifying, just behind actually Michael Leese, so he could get ahead of all of the Pro-Am field here if he can go ahead and nail this lap. It's looking like 27 cars. That might just keep things sane enough for us to have some good racing here today. I think with just a few cars less, that's honestly maybe a good thing. We've got the core drivers here, maybe a few of the part-timers. Unfortunately can't make it today, but I'm sure they'll be back next week at Snetterton. Across the line, does Thor go any faster? No, not quite. Doesn't really pick anything up that last lap. No, he did actually. That was his fastest lap, but he doesn't pick up a position. He did put down a 55.857, just doesn't pick up any spots. A few more drivers wrapping up laps. Here's Adam Delmont, second place.
Yeah, second place in the standings and second place in qualifying so far. 0.2 of a second behind Jason Cooper. He's definitely going to be trying to find those 0.2 of a second as he heads. That's the final corner, is it? Yes. So he's finishing up his lap. 49 has to beat a 55.002 as his personal best. Can he do it? Maybe in the 54s. No, barely. So unfortunately for him, that's going to be second place if no one else improves.
Here's a couple of teammates drafting. Is that Jason Cooper and Casper DeCourt? Yes, it is. They are through. That is the chicane now. I don't think they're going to finish this lap, but it's going to be close. 25 seconds. They should actually. They should get there.
Yeah, they might. So both of them, well, helping each other.
No, they've just slowed down. I think they've abandoned it. That's awfully slow. Yeah, they were picking up Lars Fischer, so it looks like they are done with their run. Can Fiona Siddons go faster, maybe? Fiona's into... Oh, that's very early in the lap. I don't think Fiona's going to do anything here. Yeah, I think qualifying is just about wrapped up here, unfortunately, for round number 5 at Knockhill. So that means that we'll get a chance to let these guys finish things up and get ready for race number 1 on the day. We'll be able to go through the full field of drivers. And you know what? Adam Mitchinson mentioning out in the chat, he's actually watching today. He's unfortunately not in the field, so he's watching. Yeah, this is a points fest for everybody that is here. This is going to be really nice for those guys that maybe, you know, if they had a crash or if they maybe don't always run all that high up the board, they're going to get some extra bonus points, I think, just by being here and finishing 27th or better today. It's going to be a pretty good day for them. We've got the first grid on the day right about here. On pole, it is Jason Cooper, your fastest qualifier here at Knockhill. Starting second will be Adam Delmont, there in the number 77. Starting third, that's going to be Marcelo Pagman. Lee Holmes will roll off fourth. Then it's Michael Seal, Casper DeCourt, James Sharp, Andy McEwen. Lars Fischer will start ninth, and Adam McNally rounds out your top 10 at Knockhill.
In 11th place, we're going to have Tom Griffiths. Alongside him, James Neve in 12th place. In row number 7, we're going to have Nick Clibbins on the inside and Michael Lees on his outside, the number 921. 15th place, we'll go to Thor Tulo, we just mentioned, and Glenn Humberstone is going to be starting 16th place on his outside. Julian Schroer in the 578 is going to be starting 17th place, right beside Fiona Siddons in 18th place. Row number 10 will go the way of Adam Papman in the 924 and the 512 of Duncan Cope.
Starting 21st in this first race of the day, Arwen Graham back after Donington. Have not seen Arwen in the field in a little while. James Clark is back in the number 20, starting 23rd rather. It is Nathan Davies in the 522. Got a race win in the TC cars on Thursday last week. Paul Duncan starts 24th. Starting 25th, it's Kevin McGlone. Douglas Stewart starts 26th. And shotgun on the field for race number 1. That is Mark Oliver back there in the 999. Red lights on, waiting on green lights then, and we'll have our first race on the day from Knockhill Racing Circuit. When do they release? Right there, they get racing here at Knockhill. Watching these guys get through the first couple of corners, that first kind of complex, the second complex that puts you up onto Brabham's and kind of the backstretch for the first time. Here's Clark.
That's just a beautiful sight to see everybody just making it through, and that's pretty much, well, a lap already done, isn't it, Andrew? As drivers are now heading back into the back straight, nearly into turn 9. As you can see, a few drivers going side by side now in the back straight. As you can see, Fiona Siddons. No, that's not Fiona Siddons. She's back there, but as you can see, a lot of drivers battling for position. Quite behave, everybody, I dare say. As you can see, everybody nearly, I'm pretty sure everybody, Andrew, made it through lap 1.
Very clean start here. There's a crash further back. James Clark has got some trouble here as actually he gets around Kevin McGlone, but there wasn't maybe a crash, but there was some contact a little ways back, and certainly some guys going side by side early. Back up front, Lee Holmes hounding Marcelo Pagnan. This is for second, and you can see the battle right behind Michael Seal, Casper DeCourt, the top 5 getting after it.
Yeah, they're getting after it. That's all allowing Jason Cooper to essentially drive away already 1.1 seconds. You can see it.
Oh, Michael Seal!
Seal is around on the exit of the chicane. Can he save it? Did he hit the barrier?
Good catch. I don't think he hit anything. Good catch there, Michael Seal. Finally got a race win in touring cars as well last week, the 4th race on the day at Daytona. And not the greatest start for him here as he will get back after it out of Clark there and get back after it down the railway bend. Back up front. Already lap number 2 in the books here. Jason Cooper leading the way and doing so rather strong. Further back, your top 5 now extends all the way back to Adam Delmont, who has really got some trouble right behind him. Look at Andy McEwen here.
Andy McEwen, as you can see, McNally, that looks like Fisher is going down the inside of McNally. Can he get the position? They're going to battle side by side. And it looks like McNally will retain that position, at least for the time being. Fisher will have to essentially find a better opportunity to pass it. As you can see, as a big tank slapper looks like for the number 78 as they head uphill out of the chicane. Now everybody using a lot of curb, but they all make it through in one piece.
I like that little that you do sometimes when these guys get sideways. I really do. Glenn Humberstone around further back as, almost got hit there by, was that Mark Oliver that came through? That would have been almost his teammate, I think, right? Yeah, they're both 88 Tech drivers, but Glenn Humberstone, a big spin here out of turn number 6, it looks like. I love the backwards brake marker there on the backstretch as he gets back rolling. Duncan Cope now in a nice little battle with Nathan Davies. This is through Taylor's, and look at Douglas Stewart there as well.
As you can see, a few drivers getting fights. As you can see now, we may see a move down into turn 1 once again. We saw the outside was kind of the preferred line for McNally. As you can see now, Duncan Cope, can he go around the outside? Can he make it work? No, looks like it's just going to be backing now, just waiting for a better opportunity. Maybe on the exit, not quite. He just falls back in line. And this battle is definitely not over, and it looks like Duncan Cope might just have something to do with it. He'll definitely want that position later on the lap.
On the contrary, I think Nathan Davies just scooted out of there and is going to fight here now with Fiona Siddons. This is a move for turn 7, and that's going to work for Nathan. Maybe, yes, gets Fiona clear to apex. That was close, though, as you can see the rest of the field behind him come back over turn 7. Look at this. A fight from Fiona. Uses the slipstream to get back to the left side now of Nathan Davies. This will be a challenge for turn 9. Round the outside, can Fiona do it? Parks right back behind Nathan Davies. It's so hard to pass in turn 9, and unfortunately, nothing that Fiona can do. But look at this. Paul Donkin bringing the fight to Douglas Stewart. A lot of the pro-ams and AMs fighting back here.
Yeah, they're fighting amongst each other. That's really good to see. As you can see, that Red Bull machine, the Red Bull Mazda MX-5 going down the inside, getting that position done not so easily. As you can see, they're both still side by side, nearly making contact on the exit of turn 2 as they head now into turn 4, and well, they make it through.
Turn 5, turn 6, through the chicane. Oh, the catch there for Douglas Stewart. Love when these guys step those cars out. I did an AI race of 40 cars here yesterday, and I did the exact same thing each and every lap. I think I did 25 laps, and yeah, it was very similar to that, just slinging the car sideways each and every opportunity. Let's go back up front. 5 minutes done in this race, and look at that. Jason Cooper, dipping out. He has got a big lead.
Yeah, big lead indeed. 2 seconds already clear of Marcelo Pagnan. Somehow he found his way into second place. Was he there the whole time and I just missed it? But, well, either way, he's 2 seconds ahead of him. Marcelo Pagnan is still fighting with Lee Holm. Casper Decourt trying to make anything, trying to get any position out of there. And I think Marcelo was there the entire time, but I misread his name.
Yeah, Marcelo's been there for a while. One car is spun. Is this Arwen Graham? Yes. Oh, boy. Arwen, that is not where that car belongs, and the Swift Cooper number 923 has got a big problem here. I don't think she's getting out of that dirt anytime soon.
Yeah, looks like that car. Yeah, I can see the suspension essentially is gone, the front suspension, front right. We're going to take a replay to see exactly what happened, and was that on the exit of the chicane? Because that seems like the spot the drivers are getting way looser, as we're going to see right now.
This is turn 6. And no, this I think is actually turn 5. Turn 5 for turn 6 right there. Okay, out of turn 6, the car looks planted. I can't imagine what's gone wrong here. Braking for turn 7. Oh, so this is out of turn 7. We kind of misread that a little bit. That's out of turn 7 and hard in the barrier, almost at the exit of the rallycross course over there. It's an interesting place to spin. I can certainly see how it happened. I will say that. It's a very tricky part of racetrack, but it's an odd place regardless. So that's turn 3. And we'll just try and diagnose this one more time here for Arwen Graham. Here we go. Turn 4, 5, 6. Everything was nice and steady there. Car looked okay. And it's just out of turn number 3 here, or turn number 7 rather, that there's a problem. Pops the curbing there, it lands, and it just goes for a nice little spin.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just really unfortunate. The suspension just goes up, the wheels just spin, and at that point, nothing you can do is just a passenger. So that's an unfortunate way to see a race ending. But, well, as we're kind of used to, Andrew, there's 3 more races where you can make a bunch of points up. And look at Marcelo Pagnan going really wide. Lee Holmes trying to go down the inside, can't really make it. But this fight is getting very interesting. Jason Cooper is absolutely thinking because he's nearly 3 seconds already ahead. As you can see now, Lee Holmes going down the outside, lining up a move on the outside of turn 9. Can he outbrake Marcelo Pagnan? He's already up ahead. Can they go side by side for turn 9? Yes, they can. But Lee, oh, he's just going to get squeezed.
And they're going to have lap traffic at turn, maybe not turn 1, but soon here. So we'll go on board with Casper Decourt side by side for second, just ahead. Marcelo Pagnan inside, Lee Holmes outside. Who's going to give? Neither. Side by side over Duffus Dip. Oh, the clear. What a move there from Marcelo. Now Lee Holmes back over to the right side. Looked at the braking zone. Thankfully stays behind Marcelo for one more lap. But I think Lee Holmes has got him just about where he wants him here, setting this driver up over the course of laps. Marcelo wide there. The mistake. The lap car goes to the inside. That was Petman. He gives way. Lee Holmes going to take that spot through Clark. What great racing.
Fantastic racing, but look at the exit that Marcelo got. He's going to go side by side. He got the better run. He got essentially the cutback. Look at Casper Decourt. He's going to be pushing Lee Holmes on the outside lane. Who's going to give in first? Lee turns in on Marcelo Pagnan, and they nearly made contact. I think they did, actually.
Oh, he comes over and gets Casper.
He gets Casper. They door bang. Lee Holmes is going to be losing not yet another position. He's going to be losing a position to Casper Decourt, who has the inside line now as they head into turn 1.
Here comes Andy McEwen with a good opportunity here. Inside the top 5, this is fantastic stuff. Casper Decourt takes the inside line for 1. Now 2 and 3. That should work out for Casper. No, Lee Holmes around the outside. Casper had to really pinch off the corner and is able to stay right behind him, although losing that spot back to Lee Holmes. And look at this. Andy McEwen now going to try and say something about it. Here we go. Turn 7. Andy takes a look to the inside, stays behind Casper, up over the apex of 7, and oh, this will be a nice little draft fest to the final corner of this lap.
Yeah, absolutely. That battle between those 3. Look at how much it bunched up. Essentially, the rest of the top 10 As you can see, a few drivers going defensive, trying to maybe line up a move. Oh, that's nearly McEwen, nearly trying to go down the inside of Casper DeCourt, having to defend it from Adam Delmont. He's going to be forced to the inside, so he's going to have no slipstream. So who's going to give in now, Andrew? Who's going to give in first? Andrew McEwen, Adam Delmont.
I'm surprised Delmont challenged there in 9, but it's working out now on the straightaway. Still side by side over Duff and Step. Oh my goodness, look at these guys.
Oh!
Good catch there from Andy. Now turn 3. And finally has to give that spot up. Delmont works it out. McNally, a shot to the shorts there off the number 4 of McEwen. Now up over the chicane. Oh my gosh, this is good stuff.
This is fantastic stuff. I mean, everybody's essentially going side by side at all times. As you can see, the battles are bunching up.
Oh, contact there. That's Griffiths. We're on board with Sharp. Griffiths had a little bit of contact there with him. He came across the nose of Sharp's car and falls back. Now here comes James Neve looking for a top 10. He's got it now, looking for 9th on the inside as Lee Holmes, Casper DeCourt, they battle out front as well. This is just amazing stuff inside this top 10.
This is fantastic. Neve nearly got 2 positions in one straight away. He's side by side with James Sharp. As you can see now, this number 78 of Adam McNally trying to work his way on the outside of McEwen. Can he do it? Not quite. He doesn't have the car in there. So McEwen gets the position, retains his position. As up ahead, looks like we're going to have a switch for position. This is Casper DeCourt going side by side with Adam Delmont. And, well, Casper DeCourt retains the position as Delmont was forced on the outside of the chicane.
Ooh, Andy!
Oh! Saves it.
Wow. That was dirt tracking it in a Mazda Miata. That was good stuff. Andy McEwen letting it hang out. One car around is James Sharp, and oh, that's big contact. The right front is destroyed.
Wow. Oh, that's just so unfortunate. He was in the top 10. So was this on the exit? Was this another curb getting another driver up in the air and just spinning out? I dare say it was.
He's battling here with Tom Griffiths. Let's watch this. Oh, he's
no.
Oh, wow. He just got off track, and what a hit. Oh, my goodness. Tom Griffiths. Ice in his veins. Wow.
Oh, my God. Andrew, do you remember when Valentino Rossi avoided that bike? That's the car version.
Yeah, I'd say so. Let's watch this on board from Tom Griffiths' point of view. Yeah, Sharp just goes off track. Nails the tire barrier. Tom Griffiths taking the corner as normal. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Oh my gosh, somebody. I want somebody to make a meme out of that. A GIF, please. That was insane. Back up front. We get a battle here. As we come out of replay, this will be back live with 3 minutes to go. You can see Marcelo Pagnan being hounded by Lee Holmes, the rest of the top 5 filling in. Let's go back and check on your Pro-Am leader because it's Nathan Davies, having come all the way through the field, has passed Julian Schroer, has passed Paul Duncan, Douglas Stewart, Duncan Cope, Glenn Humberstone has passed them all, and is now leading this race in Pro-Am. His next Pro-Am competition is back in 16th overall. That's Julian Schroer, who's just been passed up by Thortullo.
Yeah, as you can see, that's a big gap between those Pro-Am leaders. As you can see now, Thortullo going down the inside into turn 1 as we cut up ahead. This is going to be... Is this Davies? No, this is the 921. This is Lee's. So this is the leader of the amateur class. He's currently in 14th. And, well, he also, Andrew, has a big gap to his next amateur competitor.
Oh, that might do it, though. That was definitely scary up over the chicane. Into 7, gets it sorted out, but yes, this is your amateur leader. The Excite Energy number 921 of Michael Leese leading the way in amateur competition. The next amateur driver is Fiona Siddons in 19th spot. There's only 4, 5, I think 6 amateur drivers in this race. They are Michael Leese, and this is in order of position right now. Michael Leese, Fiona Siddons, Mark Oliver, Adam Petman, Arwin Graham, and Kevin McGlone, who did not make it very far in this race, unfortunately. So that is how things sort out in amateur, but this is back up in pro. We can't miss this.
Yeah, the pro class is definitely not sorted out just yet with 1 minute and 30 to go. As you can see, a lot of drivers going wide on the exit of the chicane. As you just saw McEwen, pretty sure he was just passed by McNally, so that was a switch up for position. Up ahead, these guys are not switching up. Now Delmont wants his shot at Marcelo Pagana. He just has to pass Lee Holmes, maybe down the inside of turn 9. Not quite. He thinks about it, I'm pretty sure, mid-corner, but looks like Holmes was just a bit too defensive. As you can see now, Lee Holmes getting a little bit sideways. That might just compromise his run down into turn 1. Not quite, so he might just be safe with his 3rd place. But Marcelo Pagana, what a job he's doing so far with retaining that 2nd place.
He has backed up this field some 7 seconds from Jason Cooper. Although I think it'd be more accurate to say Jason Cooper has just left this field by 7 seconds. But man, it is so hard to pass here at Knockhill. That has been evidenced here in this race. I think Lee Holmes is just a little bit faster than Marcelo, but has not been able to find a quality opportunity as Delmont certainly made contact there with Lee Holmes. This is good stuff. Watching from the vantage point of 5th place, Casper DeCourt in the number 5 car. Watching Adam Delmont go at it with Lee Holmes on his nose and Marcelo Pagna in 2nd place. Is this where Lee finally makes a move? I think he's going to have to.
Yeah, he's going to be forced to the outside. Can he outbrake Marcelo Pagna? If not, can he get a good enough run on the exit? He's going to cut in. Delmont is going to be there, so Delmont absolutely ruining his plan. He's not going to get a better exit, so they're not going to be... Delmont looks like not going to be challenging for 3rd place, but he's going to be challenged by Casper DeCourt, so his 4th place might just come under threat on the final lap of the race.
White flag presented by Tucson Sound Art. Delmont now defending from Casper DeCourt over Duffus Dip. Oh, Casper slides right in behind. Adam McNally going to try and take it to the left side. That's worked out earlier in this race. Right on the outside through the gravel. Adam's still there. A battle here for 5th. McNally's going to take it from Casper DeCourt. Oh my gosh. Watching these guys jostle over the bumps here. Jostle over the curbs. That's McEwen up the inside of Casper DeCourt. Going to take 6th place away. And Casper gives him a shot there, but nothing he can do about it. Jason Cooper is going to lead down to Taylor's and is actually waiting here. He has slowed down significantly. I don't know why. Oh, he's trying to leave Petman on the lead lap. He is trying to leave Petman on the lead lap, but look at that fight behind him. This is going to wrap up race number 1.
This is going to wrap up, so Jason Cooper wins. Lee Holmes on the line gets 2nd place. Delmont in 3rd. Marcelo Pagna drops to 4th. McNally, McEwen, Casper DeCourt, Fisher, Griffiths, and Neve, your top 10. So the whole top 10, essentially, Andrew, had a shake-up on the final lap of the race.
Wow. Nathan Davies wins in Pro-Am. Michael Lease in Amateur. 2nd in Pro-Am, that's going to be Julian Schroer. 3rd will be Paul Donkin. 4th is Douglas Stewart. 2nd in Amateur, that's going to be Fiona Siddons coming to the line now. Here she comes in a battle with Mark Oliver, but it's Fiona over Mark, then Duncan Cope, Glenn Humberstone, Adam Petman will come across in 24th. That will be, I believe, 4th position in Amateur, and that was Jason Cooper trying to leave Adam Petman on the, well, not the lead lap, but keep from lapping Petman, as Petman is a bit slow there out of Taylor's, and will come across and wrap up this race. But we have got to go back and, well, first we have to do our spin, I will say. So we'll do that first, but then we've got to go back and see what happened there for 2nd place. Let's go ahead and fire up the spinny wheel for the first time all day, and we'll find our first invert on the afternoon at Knockhill. That was certainly some racing there for race number 1. Invert number 1 of the day. It's a full field invert. First time we're getting it, and it's going to include 23 cars. So the smaller field is saving these guys from a little bit. But man, could you imagine if we had gotten that at Spa with 40 some odd cars? Boy, that would have been something. So it's a full field invert. That means 23 cars finished on the lead lap, and 23 cars will be inverted. Adam Petman, James Sharp, Arwen Graham, and Kevin McGlone will not be inverted up to the front since they did not finish on the lead lap. Results from race 1, then let's take a look.
As you can see now, the unofficial results, Jason Cooper took the win, 3.8 seconds. That's not going to be the reality of the situation, I guess you can say, Andrew. That was... Well, he was allowing Petman to be on the lead lap. Lee Holmes snatching 2nd place. A great job from him. Adam Delmont, finishing the podium. Marcelo Pagna, unfortunately, dropping from 2nd all the way down to 4th place. Adam McNally in 5th place. Andrew McEwen in 6th place. Casper DeCourt dropped all the way down from 4th place to 7th on the final lap of the race. Lars Fischer in 8th place ahead of Tom Griffiths and James Neve, our top 10.
Finishing 11th in this first race is Nick Clibbins. Didn't say that name very often this afternoon, at least not in race 1. Michael Seal, after his issue, slides down to 12th. Nathan Davies there at the Pro-Am win will finish 13th in race number 1. Michael Lees 14th with his amateur win. Then it's Thortillo, Julian Schroer, Paul Donkin, Douglas Stewart, James Clark, and Fiona Siddons wrapping things up in the top 20.
And the final 7 drivers are going to be Mark Oliver in 21st place, Duncan Cope in 22nd, and Glenn Humberstone in 23rd place, 37 seconds behind the leader. Adam Petman unfortunately finishes a lap down in 24th place ahead of James Sharp in 25th. Aaron Graham in 26th ahead of Kevin McGlone. Both of them, unfortunately, their races cut short in 26th and 27th respectively.
And now we have got to go back and get a look at what happened there coming to the checkers. That was something else for second place. Let's see if we can find it quickly here. Might have to go a little further back. Here we go. So this is the battle as it happened. I don't know exactly where this is in the replay, but this is what goes on for second. Lee Holmes, Marcelo Pagnon, and Adam Delmont. They're not going to finish in this order, I can tell you that much.
Yes, something definitely happened. I saw Marcelo going out. He's going really defensive on the back straightaway. As you can see now, Lee Holmes going to his outside. Does it happen all the way down into turn 9? Oh my God!
What a send from Adam Delmont! That was perfectly placed. Props to the replay there. Wow!
That's going to explain how Marcelo dropped 2 places on the final lap. Oh, that's just unfortunate for Marcelo. He was just on his... Adam Delmont just essentially missed the breaking point. That was absolutely not intentional, but... Oh, that's unfortunate for Marcelo.
That is a big send, and that actually... That may come back to bite Adam Delmont when the stewards review this one. Let's watch this one more time. On board here with Adam Delmont, this is going to be the send of a lifetime into Taylor's to wrap up race number 1. Way late on the brakes and just right into Marcelo Pagnon, but hey, it works out nicely for Lee Holmes, taking second place there. Lee's not going to complain.
Oh, Lee, absolutely not. If he was just 1 meter ahead, he was going to be taken out as well. Oh, did Adam Delmont actually let Marcelo pass? Just looking at the replay?
I think he tried, but couldn't quite do it in time. He's still credited with third in the results. I think he tried to.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, just recognizing the mistake, and unfortunately for him, and unfortunately for Marcelo, but, well, that's racing. Sometimes it just happens.
That is racing, and unfortunately, sometimes those kinds of things happen. We will take a step aside here and get into race number 2, because that's already on the way. Don't go anywhere. We got more BSR, that is British Sim Racer action here on Pit Stop TV.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome back to the virtual Knockhill racing circuit. Now, in the B-roll here that you're looking at, it's nice and sunny. We got a few clouds in the sky, but this place is nice and lit up, and it looks like a nice summer day almost. Well, unfortunately for the drivers, maybe it's not quite the same in the sim. JP, do you want to see the conditions currently as we get ready for race number 2?
Oh, absolutely. You teased me before we went live. I definitely want to see what's going on now. Oh, there we go.
It is dark, gloomy, gray. It looks like Scotland, I'd say. Unfortunately, yeah, it is 65 degrees, very overcast. That, by the way, is as cold as you can make it if you set the temperature. So you can get slightly lower temperatures than at about 64 and change, but you can't go much lower than 65 degrees in the sim. That is as far down as things will go. This is just about as cold as they could possibly make it. Tire temps. Recall that conversation from Brands Hatch? Yeah, bring it on back, because that's going to be the concern here in race number 2.
Oh, absolutely. Drivers are going to have yet another challenge. And dare I say, Andrew, finally, these drivers are back home after Belgium and Daytona.
And the weather is just like it, isn't it?
So, yeah, absolutely. Now they're feeling like at home. I'm pretty sure some of them have a cup of tea right beside them as we're yet again taking a look at the circuit. And now sectors 1 and 2, turns 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6 are going to be yet more challenging for these guys, as we just mentioned. Lower temperatures, low tire temperatures as well. You're gonna make things a little bit harder.
Yeah, it's just gonna be that little bit more challenging to build temps and get grip around these corners like McIntyre, I'd say. And really over, I think turn 2 will be one of the more challenging corners. It's going to be hard to get turn in there as you come down Duffus Dip and try and get some grip back towards turn number 3 for McIntyre. Butchers should be okay that turn in, but I'd be a little concerned coming over turn 6, coming over the exit of the chicane, and maybe even turn 7, where we saw a lot of drivers already having problems. And of course, coming out of Taylor's, you have that long straightaway as well, where the tires are going to cool down, so it's just going to be even more difficult to get that rear grip and put that rear power down to the ground without having issues. So Taylor's, I think turn 7, turn 9 are going to be the problem spots, certainly for these guys. Maybe even turn 1 and 2 as tire temps are going to be the big story of this second race. Unfortunately, early in the season, it seemed like we could get the grids for you guys. Unfortunately, I think that's changed, and ATVO actually will not output the full grid, and we can show you this here. So we're not even sure exactly who's starting where, but I can see Duncan Cope there will start 3rd. We can see one of the 88 tech drivers. I want to say that's Mark Oliver or Glenn Humberstone starting 2nd. And of course, if I recall, it wasn't Petman, it was the car that finished 23rd, and I actually don't recall he finished 23rd now to get the pole, but we're going to have a full field of these guys going down to turn number 1 in just a few more moments here, JP, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. Race number 1 was a blast. Now for full grid invert, let it be 23 cars. This is going to be absolutely insane. The fastest guys trying to make this their way through as we have the red lights. Looks like we're going to be going at any moment in time, and race number 2 is underway.
Adam Petman did get to start this race on pole, and he'll lead the fight down to turn 1 over Duffus Dip. Here we go. Oh, and there's a crash. Thortillo with another driver spun out right, but they both go right and left. One car in the grass. That's one of the Movano cars, I believe. Was that James Sharp, maybe? As everybody else gets on going. Relatively clean start, but a lot more exciting than start number 1. Look at everybody else coming on through here.
Yeah, absolutely. More exciting lap than race number 1. A few heartbeats, maybe skipping over the roof. As you can see, looks like a driver went down the inside into turn 7 on Clark. As we now look into the back straight, looks like we're going to have a battle for the lead. Nearly a big separation groups. We're going 3 wide into Taylor's.
That is Glenn Humberstone up the inside. Contact. Fiona Sid is in this battle now for the top 4. Fiona's behind her teammate, Adam Petman. You can see the 88 tech car of Glenn Humberstone leading Duncan Cope there, right behind Adam Petman, who's gone from a lap down, getting spared by the race leader to get the pole. Now fighting for the race lead is, oh my goodness, this is insane. Duncan Cope and Fiona Siddons contact. Fiona comes in the inside. Petman goes around. Petman is going to spin in front of everybody from hero to 0, and he gets hit. Michael Seal, Andy McEwen, and that was Adam McNally, James Sharp, and they keep on coming.
They just kept on coming. Unfortunately, Adam Padman is going to be finding himself on the back part of the grid as now looking to Glenn Humberstone. Fiona Siddons from 4th all the way up to 2nd place. So a brilliant lap 2 from her. As you can see now, the rest of the field, as more drivers are going too wide. As now we have, as you can see, the top 3, not a single pro driver. James Clark, our first pro driver in 4th place, as we have even more battles as we head into Taylor's.
What a first 2 laps here in race number 2. One car sideways. It was Lars Fisher back there on Taylor's. Humberstone went purple that lap. Glenn Humberstone currently holds your fastest lap here in race number 2. Duncan Cope follows Fiona Siddons up and over turn number 1. Everybody else follows on through. Michael Seal, despite that contact, is looking pretty okay. P6.
Yeah, P6. Oh, as you can see now, looks like that was Stewart just getting sideways on the exit of turn 4. Even 2 cars. No, Michael Seal just avoided it. Somehow the number 57 is still on the racetrack. Andrew, he's defying all odds.
Yeah, but Duncan Cope with some trouble back here. And oh no, Fiona Siddons has just crashed.
Oh, I just saw the name just flying down the timing sheets. Looks like that's going to be damaged suspension, maybe? No, she's getting up to speed again. That's a bit damage on the aero side of the car, but looks like nothing terminal.
A lot to watch back here. Let's start with Duncan Cope. It looks like Arwen Graham now has had an issue as well. Let's go to Duncan Cope here. And, boy, this should be an interesting ride. Purple and white and yellow livery on that National Autistic Society, number 512. Love the paint scheme. Love the cause there for Duncan. And this is turn 3. Where do the issues arise? I believe it's coming over the chicane here in turn 6. James Clark is right behind. And just steps out on his own, and James gets a bit of a piece, comes back over. What a miss there from Michael Seal. And then something happens with Fiona. Let's see if we can catch it just in time here. We're a little behind. I think Fiona might have just gotten sideways, and Julian Schroer and Casper DeCourt get a small piece. And then something happens with Arwen Graham. This is Clark again, another problem in turn 7 for her, but I think that's maybe about it. Just goes off, gets back on, and that's all.
Yeah, so a lot of things happening on that lap. A lot of drivers, I dare say, Andrew, struggling yet with tire temperatures. Maybe just getting a little bit too confident. We saw a few drivers missing the apex on turn 4, so that might be it. Now, Jason Cooper goes fastest with a 54. He was the only driver in qualifying to go on the 54s, and he does it on race as well. So he's showing a fantastic pace as we have tons of battles side by side. Heading up the chicane, that's contact. That ends well.
Julian Schroer did not get the good end of that one, and he would argue that ended pretty poorly as Delmont's up the inside there. Casper DeCourt just got that spot away. Marcelo Pagnan on through as well. Look at this. Marcelo and Tom Griffiths side by side. They had a run in at the end of race number 1. How does this sort out? Marcelo on the inside. The outside has been terrible so far in Taylor's, and it's bad once again. Griffiths loses that spot. Casper DeCourt, a bit of a shot to the shorts. And Delmont still side by side with Schroer, who hangs on to a top 10 for now.
Yeah, still in the top 9. Top 10 is mission in 9th place. As you can see now, they all file back in a single file. As you can see, the number 77, Delmont, trying to go down the inside of Shore in lap 1 on turn number 1. Couldn't really get there. As you can see now, the rest of the train. Look at the gap that Glenn Humberstone has over the field. 3 seconds. Michael Seal is definitely trying to chase him down, but, well, 9 minutes to go, 2.9 seconds. Definitely doable.
Julian Schroer. Heartbreak in this race. It's been a rough one. Falls back again, now just ahead of Arwen Graham, 22nd on the racetrack. And, yeah, this has not gone well for Julian Schroer. Had a pretty good starting spot, but has since fallen back, and Fiona Siddons as well, getting passed up 3 wide. Here we go. Andy McEwen up the right side. Nathan Davies went left. Nathan gets clear of them both. This is to Taylor's, and this is the battle for about 18th position. Andy gets it. That's 17th, actually, for Andy, 16th for Nathan Davies, and 15th for Kevin McGlone up the road.
So Fiona unfortunately lost a few more spots. Looks like just nursing the car home at this point, trying to make it on the lead lap, as we have now Kevin McGlone just ahead of Nathan Davies as they head down into turn 1 using a lot of apex. Cars bouncing. Look at the run that Davies got on the exit of turn 2. He's extremely close. Looks like Kevin just went a little bit too wide. He's going to be giving the inside line. No, not quite. So he holds for that inside line on the chicane, goes a little bit wide, has a bit of compromise line, but keeps his position for the time being. But he's under immense pressure from Nathan Davies.
And Andy McEwen is pressuring Nathan as well. This will be a nice little run to Taylor's. Here we go. Just ahead of halfway. Nathan Davies is going to go right. McEwen is going to maybe support him. Yes, goes over to the right side as well. Now looks left of McGlone. McGlone defends to turn 9, but it is nowhere near enough. McEwen, a good run out of the corner, has to look left there, and I think is going to have a run certainly for turn number 1 before we wrap this battle up. This battle is certainly far from over.
Yeah, but definitely, as you can see there, Davies going down the inside, defending his inside line, actually, from McGlone. He's going to keep the position. McEwen's going to be trying to line up anything out of that move.
Ooh,
he's going to go down the inside of turn
wow.
3. That's an opportunistic move, and he gets it done very cleanly. What a move from him.
That was really good. That's something I did against the AIs, practicing for this place. I did not think that was going to work with actual people. Really good move there from Andy. Now Lee Holmes going to have a look at Kevin McGlone, and Mark Oliver just lost a spot to Thortillo. This is all so crazy to try and keep up with. Let's go back up front, though, because Glenn Humberstone has got just 1.7 seconds back to Michael Seal. It was 3 seconds a couple of laps ago. I wonder, can he hang on and get another Pro-Am win for the second week in a row in race number 2 for 88 Tech Racing Team? Last week it was Craig Schill. Craig not in the field today. And last week also it was Craig as an amateur. This time it would be for Pro-Am.
Yeah, this would be an absolutely amazing win, not only for him, but as you mentioned, his team as well. Oh, as he goes a little bit wide, 1.4 seconds, and also might be starting to feel the pressure a little bit if he's focusing too much on those timing shifts on the relative box that he has. So just keep an eye out of it. Just focus on your race. Keep hitting your marks, as we hear also often in NASCAR. Just focus on your race. Now the gap is around 9/10 of a second. So Michael is absolutely pulling and pushing as hard as he can, as now cut to Lee Holmes, who unfortunately looks like had an incident on the exit of the chicane.
Gets it sorted back out, will continue, but does drop down through the order. Lee is now 24th. This is your battle for the race win. Ultimately, Michael Seal has made up a lot of time on Glenn Humberstone. Michael is pushing big time, and it is paying off so far.
Yeah, absolutely. He's pushing really hard. Already down to half a second. So at this moment in time, you're going to be benefiting from the slipstream. Try to put Glenn Humberstone under the immense pressure, just as much pressure as you can. As you can see, it's kind of working, because that's the second time in a row that Glenn made that mistake on the exit of the chicane. So might just be feeling too much of the pressure. Goes a little bit wide as well on the exit of turn number 7 on Clark. And well, there we go. Michael Seal on the outside of the back straightaway. Can he clear Glenn Humberstone before the braking zone? Not quite. They're going to go side by side. Michael on the outside. He's going to try to go all the way. Now he's going a bit of contact.
But you know what? It works out. They reset kind of in that battle and get back going. Sure, they lose a little bit of time to third, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad. I mean, when you consider how bad that could have been, as they fight now under the bridge there, the crossover bridge leading to turn 1. Humberstone, just a slight advantage here over Michael Seal. What can Michael do? Lunges into the braking zone for turn number 3, closes right back up.
Just as we were on the previous lap, albeit much closer, less than 0.2 of a second. As you can see now, will Glenn do the same mistake? Just barely going a bit wide, just dipping a wheel into the gravel. Not gonna hurt his car too much. As you can see now, on to turn 7. Oh, look at the run that Seal got. He's gonna be looking to the inside. Can Glenn close that door? Not quite, looks like it. He's just trying to push. Yes, he clears it. Oh, no!
Glenn Humberstone came over and blocked a little bit. He was so hesitant for so long. If he had just gone over immediately, I think he would have been better off. And now going to go to the apex. Oh my goodness. Just barely misses getting a piece there of Jason Cooper. And unfortunately, the dream race number 2 for 88 Tech is done. Ignia Motorsports, Michael Seal now on point.
Yeah, he's going to be leading. He made contact with Glenn twice, so I wonder if the car has any bit of damage from those 2 contacts. If it does, could it hurt him on the top speed? I doubt it. But now the gap to Clark, Andrew, it was 3 seconds, less than a second. So are we doing this all over again?
I think so. I mean, James Clark is getting close. Although, you know what? Michael Seal did run away from the field to go and catch Glenn Humberstone. So I don't know. I don't know exactly as time winds down here in race number 2. Here's the battle for second now. James Neve hounding the number 20 of James Clark. A couple of James going at it here in the top 3. Marcelo Pagnan is not far back, and they all closed up a good bit there on Michael Seal in turn 9.
Yeah, this whole top 10 essentially is all packed up. As you can see, Dalmon is kind of just breaks away from the field from this first group in 7th place. As you can see now, the whole top 6 making their way down into turn 1, actually down into turn 2, I dare say, into turn 3. As you can see, the gap is now 6/10 of a second. So Clark and Neve, this whole group is just pushing to try and catch Seal. As now you're going to see this beautiful image, everybody going over the chicane. That was just absolutely beautiful. As we cut a bit further back, is that Lee Holmes just making his way through the line?
Well, we'll stay up front here. Marcelo Pagnan's still all over these guys. Marcelo was really good in that first race. I think, aside from Jason Cooper, probably the best on the racetrack so far today, just stuck in some traffic. I mean, these guys have all gone from the back. From 15th on to about 23rd, that's where these guys started, and they've driven through the field. This has been pretty impressive to see them do so, and it's flipped the field right back to where it was. So I wonder for race 3 how these guys are going to start. It does look like Nick Clibbins was the first retiree of race number 2 down there in 27th. He will be ineligible for the invert, but as these guys come around, I mean, we've got what, 2 laps to go, 3 laps to go?
Yeah, this is definitely not over, Andrew, with 2-3 laps. I mean, however much it takes, I'm pretty sure this battle will maybe just sort itself out on the final lap of the race. We saw Marcelo going side by side. It looks like that was Neve, but couldn't really get the position. So the top 4, the top 10 remains the same. Boy, oh boy, this final 3 laps are promising because that gap between Clark and Seal is definitely coming down. As you can see, even a battle for 3rd place. Marcelo may be looking, as you can see, goes down the inside, tries to get the car on the inside, not quite, goes deep under braking, maybe just a slight bit of contact with Neve, just trying to upset him. No, not quite. This top 6, top 7, Andrew, this is promising.
For just a moment, let's flash back and get your other class leaders. Douglas Stewart is leading in Pro-Am. He is in 10th place overall between teammates Jason Cooper and Lars Fischer. Your amateur race leader, however, that is Michael Lease, just now out of turn 9. We've got a problem. Mark Oliver falls way back into turn 9. James Sharp battling now with Fiona Siddons. These guys are battling for 2nd in amateur. Yes, Kevin McGlone and Fiona Siddons would be for 2nd in amateur if they start battling here. Boy, this is going to be interesting.
This is interesting. As you can see now, Fiona Sid is getting the move done on forward too low on turn number 1. So that was an excellent move from her, getting that position down into turn 3, essentially sealing as we cut further ahead. This is Casper the Court, so he lost a position. He's going to lose 2. He's quite slow in the back straight, wasn't he? Or it was just, I guess, my eyes.
I think they got battling there in 7 and lost a lot of time out of the railway bend. I mean, it's easy to do if you do get side by side in 7 to lose all that time. Now, white flag is out for race leader Michael Seal. A bit of a slower pace in this race, and now we get the white flag. Interesting. That was very, very close to getting a 17th lap. We were expecting 17 in this race, but just a little bit slower to where that is your white flag on race number 2. Michael Seal, James Clark, James Neve, Marcelo Pagnan, and Tom Griffiths, your top 5, are watching them all as one car got a bit dirty there through turn 3, but everybody continues on. Michael Seal leading.
Michael Seal leading, and he built a bit of a gap, 6/10 of a second, nearly 6/10 of a second. As you can see, was that Marcelo Pagnan defending from Tom Griffiths? Yes, it was. So Tom got a really good run out of turn number 7. They're gonna go side by side as they head down into the big break zone of turn number 9. Who's gonna finish ahead? I don't know, but what I do know is that Michael Seal is going to be finished off in 1st place ahead of James Clark, James Neve. Marcelo Pagnan holds that position ahead of Tom Griffiths.
Checkered flag in race 2 with Seal, Clark, Neve, Pagnan, Griffiths, McNally, Court, Delmont, Jason Cooper, and Douglas Stewart. That's race number 2. So Douglas Stewart gets your Pro-Am win. We've still got a battle for amateur, and it's Michael Lease with the win there, coming across the line now. Humberstone got, it looks like, 2nd in Pro-Am. 2nd in Am will go to Fiona Siddons over Kevin McGlone, who had an issue on that final lap. He has had such a rough time of things in this series this year.
Yeah, not the best races, not the best series. Best of luck, I guess you can say to him, but hopefully that will change in the upcoming races. We still have 2 races to go, Andrew, so a lot can change as we have the final few cars going over the finish line. And Andrew, it's time for maybe our 2nd favorite time of the day after commentating the race, our spinning wheel.
Oh, Michael Lease! Michael Lease has just been sent to the rear of the field. I don't know exactly the circumstances, but Fiona Siddons is going to get this amateur win now. Michael Lease has gone from, I think, 14th in the overall grid, maybe 13th, to 24th in a hurry. some kind of penalty there at the end. I don't know what. It might have been incidents. It might have been a track cut or something. It might have also been, especially if it was post-race, it could have been that he jumped the start potentially and goes from the amateur win to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th in amateur, only ahead of Kevin McGlone. That is big. Michael Leese now gives that win up, and Fiona Siddons will take it away. That is huge, especially for this invert.
Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna help Fiona not only in the point standing, but obviously on this invert. He's gonna be starting further ahead as we're gonna take not a full grid yet again, Andrew, but might just be a 23. Yes.
And what that does is leaves Michael Leese
on pole.
No, leaves him behind because of the invert. So he finishes 24th. It's a 23 car invert, and that will leave Michael Leese out of the invert entirely, starting 24th position, where he just lost the win, just had whatever penalty, and goes from 13th or 14th in the results to 24th. Fiona Siddons and all the other AM drivers, they move up and get an extra spot, get extra points. Fiona gets the win and will now be, a little bit deeper for them in the invert, but in the grand scheme of things, it's better for them overall. And now Arwen Graham goes from being the 24th driver to the 23rd driver, and Arwen Graham, as we'll see in a moment, will get your pole for race number 2. Here's a look at your top 10. Michael Seal wins race number 2, James Clark 2nd, James Neve 3rd, just 1 second back of Seal. Marcelo Pagnan, Tom Griffin's your top 5, Adam McNally 6th, then it's Casper DeCourt, Adam Delmont, Jason Cooper, and Douglas Stewart, that Pro-Am win.
Great job from Douglas Stewart to finish in the top 10 and winning his class. Lars Fischer finishes 11th place, just outside of the top 10. Andrew McEwen in 12th place, ahead of Glenn Humberson, who led the race, but unfortunately couldn't really capitalize on it, couldn't guarantee his win. James Sharp is going to be finishing 14th place. Fiona Siddons, as we mentioned, is going to win the amateur class, so great job. Thor Tulo is going to be finishing 16th place, ahead of Julian Schroer in 17th. Lee Holmes in 18th place, ahead of Mark Oliver in the 999. And Duncan Cope is going to be finishing off our top 20.
Finishing 21st and now starting 3rd for race number 2, it's Nathan Davies. Then it's Adam Petman there in 22nd, and Arwen Graham. That will be your top 3 starting drivers for race number 3. Arwen Graham on pole, Adam Petman 2nd, Nathan Davies 3rd. You can see the 4 drivers that just missed out. Michael Lees, Kevin McGlone, and Paul Donkin. I think McGlone would have been eligible if we had gone full one more time, and of course Michael Lees would have been, but Paul Donkin I don't think would have been, and Nick Clibbins certainly would not have been eligible for that invert. So yeah, a lot just went on there in race number 2, right at the end, especially with Michael Lees being not quite disqualified, but basically EOL, end of the lap, and falls in behind Arwen Graham. That's incredible. That is incredible. And Adam Petman will now start 2nd, where he just started 1st in race number 2. So another chance then for Adam Petman to do some good things in this next race. Nathan Davies, we know Nathan is a perfectly capable driver. And what this also does is put Duncan Cope starting 4th up front once again, and Mark Oliver will start 5th. Lee Holmes will start 6th. So it's a repeat of a lot of what we just saw in race number 2 and even parts of race number 1 as we get ready to head on into race number 3 on the day. We do have a driver sitting trackside ready to talk to you, JP, and that is your amateur race winner, Fiona Siddons.
So Fiona, you crossed the line 2nd on your class, but after a post-race penalty, you finished 1st. How does that feel?
Brilliant. 0 to 0, back to 0 all in 15 minutes.
And there you go. Keep going.
Opening laps, I lost it on cold tyres, and I don't know who it was who made contact, but I was just trying to nurse the damage and drive as fast as I could.
Yeah, we actually speculated on that, and me and Andrew, that the cold tires actually were a cause of your essentially spin. How difficult was the track, especially on these cold temperatures, compared to race number 1?
It didn't feel difficult to me. I was just pushing extra hard, trying to catch the car in front, and I just pushed a bit too much.
And obviously, with that win, you head into race number 3 more confident than ever?
Yeah, definitely. As I told you last week, I love this circuit, and it's going well so far.
Well, absolutely. You still have 2 more races to go, so we're definitely wishing you the best of luck. Before we let you go on race number 3 to hopefully accomplish what you just did, who do you have to thank? Who do you have to shout out?
I want to shout out Adam Petman, you guys, and all the admins and stewards for BSR.
Oh, absolutely. With that being said, Fiona, this was a quick, short interview. I'm going to let you focus for race number 3, and hopefully we can talk to you then.
Yeah, hopefully.
So yeah, Andrew, that was Fiona Siddons. Well, it's just so good to see drivers happy. You know, she mentioned it's pretty much a home race. Happy to be here, and well, as she mentioned, 0 to hero to 0 again. No, to hero. There we go. Nearly got it wrong.
Yeah, 0 to hero, all in the span of 15 minutes. That's a pretty good line to open things up there from Fiona. We wish her the best of luck in race number 3. The grid is on the way. We'll be right back with the 3rd race on the day from Knockhill. Don't go anywhere. This is the British Sim Racers Trophy Tuesdays with the MX-5s on Pit Stop TV. Right back to it then. Not a very long break for us here as we get ready to go back at it at the virtual Knockhill racing circuit. We're going to repeat a little bit of race number 2 as we got ready for it with the fog and everything inbound. I mentioned JP. It's not quite as it looks here on the B-roll. It looks all nice and sunny, nice bright green grass. Let's just do it over again. Do you want to see the sim?
Oh, absolutely. You keep teasing me. I don't like it. There we go. It's even
it's even foggier, but the clouds have moved out a little bit, which is weird to try and say. So it's less overcast, but it's more foggy.
I'm not quite sure if this is more or less British than race number 2, but I mean, these guys are absolutely loving their home. The track is a little bit warmer as well, so it should be a little bit easier. And well, the wind's quite calm, Andrew. Only 2 miles an hour.
Yeah, I think that's pretty okay after what we saw at Spa a few weeks back. That was pretty wild with the trees waving all around. I think we can leave that at Spa.
Can you imagine 30 miles an hour with cars jumping over curbs? I'm pretty sure they would just spin mid-air with the wind. Absolutely not a chance.
Yeah, they could be influenced. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if they would get influenced at that point by the wind and potentially go for slides and such as a result of it. But this warm-up is underway. Let's look at some of the upcoming broadcasts here at Pit Stop TV because, of course, Knockhill for BSRTC is included in our plans this week. But look at that. We've got the Nork iRacing Series yet again at Daytona. It seems like they're always at Daytona. Well, because they are in this month of January. Norktona Speed Weeks continues on. Tonight, it's the National 300 in JP. It's not just the ordinary Nork field. For the first time on Pit Stop TV, I will be in that field. confirmed that earlier this week. I will be in the Nork National 300 field in the number 22. I've raced on Pit Stop TV once before, and that was with Operation Motorsport at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park almost a year ago, actually. Now, this is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be 200 miles an hour pack racing at Daytona in the NASCAR Xfinity Series cars. It's going to be very, very different.
Oh, I'm just gonna die to see you there. I remember the Opmo race you just mentioned. No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be really, really happy. And I remember the Opmo. You gave us insights from the car, so I'm expecting more of the same there, Andrew.
We'll see how it goes. That's going to be a little more demanding, I think, at Daytona. It happens a little more quickly, but we'll see how it goes. We'll certainly give it a shot. There is a special message that I left for Emerson and Caleb on the car and the pit sign that hopefully they get to have a look at. We'll see how that goes. We've also got, of course, tomorrow's Ferrari GT3 Challenge. For some reason, I always butcher that, but Ferrari GT3 Challenge from Imola. And this is something we started doing last week. We picked up coverage of that series at Hungaroring for round number 6 of 12. This will be round number 7, and we've got 2 Italian tracks in these back 6 races. Of course, Imola and Monza. So 2 great racetracks for those Ferraris to get after it at. And I mean, Ferrari is in the name of Imola. You have to have Imola on the schedule, and you have to broadcast it as well, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Those cars are going to be at home at Imola. It's just a fantastic race car with a fantastic car. It's a fantastic series. Absolutely fantastic. Everything happening on Wednesday. So, you can't really miss it. And on Thursday, Andrew, we're back here. So we're going to travel around the world, I guess. Me and you. I'm going to stay in Europe on Italy and then coming back to Scotland.
Yeah, you can have that kind of nice little holiday of the evening, like evening kind of holiday. Just pop on over to wherever you want and chill, because then we're right back at it the next day. If you guys are watching this, any of you Brits out there or anybody that could make these European time slots, that is an open series. That is open to anybody with a D-Class license and the Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo on the sim. Ferrari GT3 Challenge is open to any of you that you want to enter, as long as you have a D-Class license on road, the car, and the track, which in this case is Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Edino Ferrari. So again, Ferrari is in the name. You have to go to Imola, and it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. We got a whole week. That's certainly a whole week of broadcasting here at Pit Stop TV. And then, of course, Sunday, we're continuing on with the SCAR Grid Sports Car Championship, this time from Monza. So you get 2 great Italian tracks in 1 week, let alone on the same Ferrari GT3 Challenge schedule. It's both of them in 1 week. And, of course, from then on, we will continue with the BRP iRacing series next Monday at Eldora. Then British Sim Racers are back next week, going to Snetterton, of all places. It's Snetterton, then Silverstone, then Brands Hatch, then Bathurst. Let's actually look at that schedule. We can pull it up right here. You can see. I'm not kidding. Snetterton 300 next week. That's another new one for us.
Yeah, absolutely. The only time I raced on Snetterton was on another sim, so I'm excited to see how it's going to play out on iRacing. It's just going to be absolutely fun. And Andrew, we're on the final 4 rounds, final 4 weeks on this schedule, so...
This is halfway.
Yeah, wow. It just flew on by, and I'm already going to miss it.
Has gone on by pretty quickly. I mean, this has been a wild season of racing, but when you figure that it's 36 races apiece between the 2 series, whether it's Trophy Tuesdays or TC Car Thursdays, it's been wild so far, and we're only part of the way into it. In fact, we are literally halfway through this season right now. This is we have 18 races done, 18 races to go. So literally right now is as halfway can get as these guys get ready for race number 3. You can see the field gridded up and ready to go. Arwen Graham on pole. That's going to change things up a little bit. At least she should be. I believe Arwen Graham is on pole. We'll see in just one moment if that is in fact the case, as these guys get ready to go for race number 3. Unfortunately, again, ATVL doesn't like us anymore. They used to like us, and they don't like us anymore, but that is okay. We will have racing in just one moment, and we'll be able to see the entire running order. We do want to thank you for tuning in on Pit Stop TV, as red lights are on, green lights are ready, and we're racing at Knockhill. Arwen Graham did not start from pole. I don't think Arwen made it into the second race, or into this third race. Adam Petman then leads off from pole, rather, and oh, we've got a problem. Adam Petman has just lost a lot of spots in turn 4, already down to 5th, maybe 6th. Everybody else does battle.
Everybody else battles, as you just saw for a brief frame, as we have a car going. Oh, jumping.
That's Thor.
Thor,
right back on. What a
Absolutely
catch.
amazing. That car was jumping, and he somehow keeps pointing in the right direction and still racing. We have a battle for third place. Is that Lee Holmes battling for third? Not quite sure, but as you can see, the rest of the field making their way into turn 9. A couple of drivers going side by side. Not a 3-wide action, but looks like the rest of the field, Andrew, well, looks like they all made it clean.
Nathan Davies clearing away with the race lead. It's Duncan Cope in second, Lee Holmes in third as they race by the front stretch. A lot of great cameras there by the paddock. And this is down turn 1 into turn 2, turn 3 there as well. What a first 2 laps once again, and we've got one around right in front of the entire field. That is, I believe, that was James Sharp sideways.
Yeah, he just saves it and comes back on the racing course, so maybe not a lot of damage. We have a car going slowly.
He's sideways again!
Oh,
through the
no.
apex there, and he's going to stop there on the access road, thankfully. That could have been a lot worse. But Glenn Humberstone is losing spots. Mark Oliver also has taken a spin. James Sharp gets back going. James Clark had an issue on the opening lap. Everybody else continues on. It's a battle for second into Taylor's. Lee Holmes up the inside of Duncan Cope and gets that spot.
Gets that position. He was really fast on race number 1, and now he's showing that pace again on race number 2, already up to second place, as you have Casper de Court trying to make his way ahead of James Schroer. Can he get the move? Looks like he's going to be falling just back in line, kind of in a sandwich there, Andrew, but it looks like 2 teammates, if I'm not mistaken.
Douglas Stewart and Julian Schroer. Oh, and James Clark gets back on the racetrack right in front of these guys. Julian goes off, right back on, just behind Douglas Stewart. Delmon up the inside, takes the spot away. McNally's going to try and fill as well, and McNally will get that position oh so closely. Here comes Tom Griffiths with a look, stays behind.
Stays behind. That's a battle for third.
Oh, no, Julian! Oh, my goodness. He goes from bad to worse here. And one other car.
Cars.
Clibbins and Lease have a problem. You can see Thortillo in the background. Oh, my goodness.
Everything is happening on race number 3. A lot of cars. Be careful and rejoin. Yeah, oh my god. That's quite close. Is that... No, it looks like that was not Marcelo Paganin making his way through.
James Sharp, who just spotted.
Oh, there we go.
A look back up front as Nathan Davies leads the way. 12 minutes to go, 3 minutes down, then McEwen went purple. There's Lee Holmes in second, Duncan Cope in third, Adam Petman leading an amateur, and there's Andy McEwen bringing Jason Cooper up front. I don't think anybody wants to see that one car go forward. They're getting tired of him winning.
Yeah, absolutely. He finished 9th place on race number 2, did a fantastic comeback, and well, he wants more. He's in 6th place, already looking... Oh, looks like McEwen went... Did he get the position? He got it. That was absolutely amazing. So now Fisher is... No, that's Cooper trying to make his way past Petman for 5th place. Petman still leading the amateur class.
And more 5-star teammates are hounding these teammates of Fiona Siddons. Here we go. Fiona with a defense there over Lars Fischer. Casper de Court on the left side into turn 9. And they will come out of that one side by side. Now Casper takes point over Lars Fischer to try and get on by that 9:27.
Davies goes fastest, as you just saw. Purple Casper de Court steals the fastest lap, so he's the fastest car on the racetrack, and he's chasing Fiona Siddons. That's not what you want to see. Fiona looks like they make a bit of contact. Fiona goes around on the exit of turn 2. Casper de Court and Lars Fischer both make it through, but Fiona's going to be losing places, well, everywhere.
Yeah, the entire field almost goes on by. She gets back on the racetrack. There goes Donkin on by. And it's a battle with Cooper and McEwen up front. McEwen has to hold on over as Cooper gets on by in turn 7. But this will be a fight to turn 9.
Yeah, turn 9 definitely going to be the place. As you can see, Cooper going defensive. McEwen is going to be forced to go on the outside. Can he outbrake Cooper? Not quite. He has the car. They're essentially side by side. Oh, contact between those two. Cooper retains the position. McEwen goes a little bit wide. That was racing.
Look at this gaggle as they work out of Taylor's. Tom Griffiths. A lot of the Excite cars, in fact, 4 of them in a row it looks like, or is that 3? I don't know. 3 wide though. Marcelo Pagnan up the right side of Adam McNally. Delmont just ahead. Marcelo is that black car at apex, and look at that contact. Maybe Marcelo hangs on really sharp right down to the apex of turn 3. Michael Seal is now in the fight. Look at this.
That was absolutely beautiful. I'm pretty sure McNally just held off, trying to not make it too wide as they approach the chicane. He loses that position, but he's definitely going to be trying to line up a move on the exit of Clark. As you can see him closing a little bit of the gap under braking. As you can see his teammate, it looks like Tom Griffiths, just went a little bit too wide on the exit of turn 7. And he's going to be losing a little bit of time and maybe fall under victim from Marcelo Pagnan as they head into turn 9.
Oh, a big send from, that was Seal, and then gets into McNally, and that helps McNally at apex get to the inside of Marcelo Pagnan. Look at this fight.
That's absolutely beautiful. It's just what we want to see. As you can see the teammates helping
Touching
each other
mirrors.
with the slipstream. Touching mirror, door banging, and they go side by side into turn 1. Marcelo has to yield that position. McNally gets 11th place. That was racing. Oh, he's not done. Marcelo tries to go down the inside, doesn't have the preferred line, and, well, he's going to be losing that position as we cut further ahead. Is this a battle for the lead?
For the lead, Nathan Davies now on the right side. Lee Holmes, a great corner in turn 7. This will fight down to Taylor's now. As you can see, Jason Cooper in the distance, 5 seconds back. Nathan Davies right back at apex, reasserts himself out front. That is a Pro-Am driver, but honestly, he is about, I think he could be a pro.
It's definitely time to make him a pro driver. He's defending from Lee Holmes with all his life. Lee needs to get past him if he doesn't want to see James Cooper so close to him. But as they go side by side into turn 1, Davies retains that lead yet again. The number 522 gets a compromised line into turn 3. Can the number 35 do anything with it? Not quite. Look at how close they are, Andrew.
Oh, that was close. Good job from Lee there to back out still early in this race, honestly. They're not even halfway just yet, about 20 seconds shy of it, so that was a good move there from Lee to sit back. Let's look further back in the field as Petman is on the move in the wrong direction, gets passed up there by Delmont. Here comes Griffiths, and McNally will take a look. Griffiths to turn 7, gets that spot. McNally and Pagnan. Pagnan hits him. Gets Petman a little bit sideways, and Seal powers on through. Contact door-to-door there with Marcelo Pagnan. This is great stuff.
This is great stuff. Look at this pack. This is absolutely amazing. We have 2 cars going side by side. All positions could be settled around here with a bit of contact. Petman does get us a little bit of contact. That's
Petman turned Griffiths. Seal goes off, gets back on. Clark gets rolling, but Tom Griffiths is left to pick up the pieces. Wow.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, that's just what happens. Petman is going to be in 11th place right now. Pagnan gets 2 free positions, nearly 3 free positions from that. Boy, oh boy, everything is happening, and Petman is still leading his class, by the way.
Yes, he is in 11th spot, just ahead of James Neve, Michael Seal, Paul Duncan. His nearest competition is Clark. Yeah, that was James Clark. Really bad corner, but James Clark is actually lapped, so letting these guys go on by. But the next competition in amateur is actually Kevin McGlone, and the gap is growing, I think. It's narrowed quite a bit, certainly from the start, but I think starting to grow once again. It is 4 positions just about that he's going to make up to battle with Adam Petman.
If those guys battle, obviously that gap would come down to around 4 seconds, so definitely possible, nearly 3-4 seconds, so definitely something can happen. As you can see, a driver ahead.
That was Donkin.
Yeah, Donkin just went really wide into turn 9, a small mistake. That's going to be costing him a little bit of time, and, well, Kevin McGlone definitely is going to be trying to, well, benefit from that as, oh, the number 927, is that Fiona Siddons? Yes, going wide into turn 9.
That's not going wide. That has already spun in turn 9 and is now 24th of 25 cars remaining. Petman and Seal have crashed.
So that's going to change the lead. Oh, Seal comes dangerously close to another driver. That's going to change the lead of the race. It looks like Petman, well, lead of the amateur class, Petman toes back to the pit lane. We're definitely going to have to take a look at what happened.
This will be a good look at things. So this is going to go way back and watch all of this kind of set up. This is going to be Adam Petman. So you can see James Neve and Michael Seal behind. And we'll get a look first, actually, at what happens to, Fiona Siddons. We'll see what happens to Fiona here in just a moment. So that's how Petman loses 1 spot to Neve. And then Fiona comes in this battle. There's Nick Clippin. So it's Michael Lees going to go right to the apex. That was a really, really aggressive corner there from Michael Lees. That was, yeah. Michael Lees did a little bit wrong there, getting into Fiona Siddons. And then all of this happens with Adam Petman further up. Oh, Michael Seal just gives him a bump there into 3, and oh my goodness, the hit.
Yeah, that car is absolutely destroyed. Maybe one of the fastest parts of the first 2 sectors. Unfortunately for Adam, that's going to be his race over. He's another driver that can't really catch a break, can he, Andrew?
Let's watch this onboard from Michael Seal. This is turn 1. Stays back, and then turn 2, I think, gets a bit aggressive as Lars Fischer just had a problem live, and yep, gets aggressive there at the apex of 2. Let's catch up to the issue here for Lars Fischer if we can. This will be a little more challenging to grab, but Lars Fischer with a problem here later on in this race. Let's watch this. Delmont behind, that is Casper de Court just ahead. Duncan Cope as well, that's turn 7. This happens between 8 and 9. This is turn 8 around Railway Bend. His teammate Casper de Court goes to the inside of Duncan Cope, and there's this battle down to Taylor's. Does Delmont make contact? Maybe? Oh, Fischer to the inside of Cope, and yes, Delmont tags the 96.
Yeah, just a little bit of contact. As you can see, trying to essentially get those wheels spinning to put him in the right direction. Dangerous rejoin on the apex, but gets back racing, unfortunately losing a lot of positions, and that was a battle well inside the top 10. He was with his teammate and Adam Delmont. So yeah, that was 5th and 6th place, Andrew. So a lot of places lost by Lars Fischer.
Back up front, Lars' teammate Jason Cooper is very much catching these two. We're battling for the race win. Lee Holmes has the spot. Nathan Davies second. Jason Cooper third. Andy McEwen in 4th, Casper de Court 5th, Adam Delmont in 6th, Duncan Cope in 7th, then it's McNally, Pagnon, Neve, your top 10. We are going to have, it looks like, 4 laps to go this time by. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to have 3.
And well, I'm pretty sure Lee Holmes is going to be counting those laps down because he's going to be 3 laps away from that win. He currently, well, he's 0.4 of a second ahead of Davies, but Jason Cooper, as you mentioned, is just hounding them down. And I'm pretty sure if you're the leader, you want to have a car between you and Jason Cooper.
Oh, Tom Griffiths and Kevin McGlone have just crashed in turn 9. We've got an issue back here. Let's, oh yeah, you can see Griffiths. No, that's not turn 9, actually. That's the outside of turn 8, I think. Yes. That looks like it's out of Clark. They've had an issue well back here as here comes Mark Oliver to go on by. McGlone and Griffiths, an issue very deep in the field here. That was turn 7, it looks like. Let's get a look at this.
So as you can see, both of them exiting the chicane. As you can see, Tom just gets way better run. He goes down the inside of turn 7. Do they make contact there?
Yeah, pops the curb and comes over.
Unfortunately, yeah, heartbreaking for both of them. And that's going to change the lead of the amateur class, doesn't it? Looks like, does Michael Lees get it?
Yes, Michael Lees will now have it out of this. And oh, he just had a moment live. That was sketchy out of turn 6. But to the apex of 7, he has got the lead. So that race that he almost won last race, but then got a penalty, it might come back to him. He might get this win in this one, but he's got to hang on as time is running out. Let's go back up front. Let's revisit this with our leaders because Davies and Holmes have not separated any, but Cooper continues to close in, and Casper de Court and Adam Delmont, they stay very much nose to tail.
As you can see, Casper going a little bit wide as they're going to go uphill to the chicane right now. Adam is absolutely, well, hounding as well. Casper de Court trying to make a move. Not going to happen in turn number 7, so as they both file in a straight line, in a single line, I should say. As you can see, now it looks like Adam got a way better run. He's going to have the slipstream, so maybe, Andrew, we might see a move being done into turn 9.
They're coming up on Fiona Siddons. A lap car now on the 924 rather. No, 927 for Fiona. And the last car on the lead lap is now Tom Griffiths. There's Tom. Where is Lee Holmes? Not too far back. About a corner and some change, really. Tom Griffiths could go 1 lap down before the end of this race. And how about Jason Cooper? He's made up another second on these guys, and oh, that's how he's doing it. That was very much flirting with a corner cut. This actually might be the last lap. I'm sorry to cut. This might be the last lap. This might be it to the end. Look at that, 20 seconds left. This could be it for these guys. I think Lee Holmes is about to grab a race win in race number 3 on the day. Nathan Davies will take second. This is going to be close. To the line, is it going to be just in time? across the line right there. That is white flag being waved by literally a second. White flag is out at Knockhill. This is race number 3.
And Cooper is doing absolutely everything that he can, posting yet another 54-second lap time. Can he snatch anything? He's a second away from Davies, 2 seconds away from Lee Holmes. As you can see him fighting the car on each and every single corner. As you can see that gap going down each and every single second. He's going to be attacking this chicane like a madman. He does it. Wow, indeed. He gets it. He's closing that gap 0.8 of a second right now. He might just run out of time, though.
But can he get Lee? There's no way. In this corner, he might be able to get Nathan Davies if he sets it up just right. A lot of draft here for Jason Cooper. Nathan kind of fades over to the right. Nathan, what an interesting name. He might like that one. Turn 9, Taylor's for the final time. And we'll go to our trusty speed shot. Nothing is going to change here. The top 3 will remain as such. Tom Griffith stays in the lead lap, and checkers fall for Lee Holmes in race 3. Then it's Nathan Davies with your Pro-Am victory. Here we go. Jason Cooper got across in 3rd. There's Andy McEwen. Casper DeCourt will match his car number as well here in 5th by just a little bit over Adam Delmont. And it's McNally, Pagnon, Cope, and Duncan are 2nd and 3rd in Pro-Am. Good races for them. And there's Duncan coming across the line. 11th overall is Neve. Then it's Fisher, Seal, Sharp, Clibbins, your top 15. And Michael Lees will finally come across in just one moment. Wait for it. Here comes Michael Lees now. That's checkers. Does he get a penalty?
The only time we're going to have to wait a few seconds to confirm, but looks like this might just be his race to win, to guarantee that victory as the rest of the field coming through. You can see there Thorthulo, Stewart, Sherwood, Griffiths looks like makes a position. He gets 2 positions. No, there you go. Oliver finishes in 20th and Griffiths 21st place. That's the last driver in the lead lap. Fiona, unfortunately, 22nd, then Clark and a few other drivers.
As of yet, there has not been a change for Michael Lees. I think he actually gets this race win, which is big then in the amateur category. We'll, of course, get full results in a moment, but first, let's consult ye old spinning wheel. 3rd spin on the day. This for the invert of race number 4. And Liam, we see you out there in the YouTube chat. Unfortunately, you aren't here, especially for a full field invert again. Twice in one day. And it's one of the smallest fields we've had this season. This will be a full invert of 21, it looks like. Maybe 22 if they give it to Fiona in 22nd. Maybe 22.
That's just insane. As I mentioned, that's the second time in 3 spins, Andrew, actually. So something is weighing down those full choices, but we're going to take a look at
something in the water.
There's something in the water. The unofficial results, as you can see now, Lee Holmes finishes in 1st place ahead of Nathan Davies. So your winner, overall winner, Lee Holmes, pro winner, Lee Holmes, Pro-Am leader and winner is going to be Nathan Davies. Jason Cooper in 3rd place ahead of Andrew McEwen. Casper DeCourt in 5th place ahead of Adam Dalmont and Adam McNally. Marcelo Paganin finishes in 8th place ahead of Duncan Cope and Paul Donkey, 9th and 10th place, 2nd and 3rd respectively on the Pro-Am class.
Finishing 11th, that's James Neve. Lars Fisher 12th, and it's Seal, Sharp, Clibbins, your top 15. Michael Lees does finally get that amateur win. It's Thortullo in 17th, Douglas Stewart 18th, Julian Schroer in 19th, and Mark Oliver will take 20th spot in the 999. Do you want to guess who hangs on for 21st? And by virtue of that, the poll for race number 4. Do you want to guess?
Tom Griffiths.
Yes, it is. Tom Griffiths. The last car on the lead lap. They may put Fiona and or James Clark. Well, actually, it shouldn't be James Clark. He missed the start and was 1 lap down the entire race. Fiona may get it. But regardless, Tom Griffith's front row, it's going to be hard to bet against that 11 car in race number 4.
Oh, absolutely. He's going to be, well, a man on a mission on race number 4. As you mentioned, Fiona Setters in 22nd, James Clark in 23rd, Kevin McGlone in 24th, Adam Padman in 25th, just ahead of, not just ahead, 7 laps ahead of Glenn Humberstone. Race number 4, Andrew, well, it's promising. It's going to be the final race, final opportunity for these guys to make any points. I'm expecting quite a lot of action.
And we're certainly going to see it. It is going to be a hectic 4th race on the day. We will take our final step aside for the afternoon and be right back to you in just a few moments with race number 4 in round number 5 for the British Sim Racers Trophy Tuesdays MX-5s.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome back to the virtual Knockhill Racing Circuit. Once again, JP, it seems like every time we've done it so far, it does not look like this in the sim, I can tell you that much. We started out with a pretty overcast day. It has stayed that way. Although we had a bit of a reprieve from the clouds last race, that's changed in this race. Let's go ahead and bring you into the sim and show you what it looks like. It's certainly not very sunny at all. It feels like honestly watching a Top Gear episode go from Italy to, well, Scotland. I wonder if it'd be more accurate to say it's almost like watching a Top Gear episode go from Italy to, putting a star in their reasonably priced car. And, it's you get Italy for their segment or whatever, be it driving through the Italian Alps or what have you, to suddenly, let's go back to Dunsfold and let's go back on the test track and here you go, it's raining, have fun, Stig. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But, we do have our stars, and this is actually a reasonably priced car, so...
I like it.
So we do have our own segment of the show, so these guys are putting on a show, 4 15-minute races, and unfortunately it's going to come down to an end right now on this final one.
This has been really good racing. I think Spa and Daytona were great, but I think I've thoroughly enjoyed the British tracks just that little bit more. So if you guys are listening, BSR, that's my feedback. I enjoyed Spa. I really enjoyed Daytona. Those races were great, but I've thoroughly, I think, preferred and more so enjoyed these British tracks like Knockhill. I was a big fan of Brands Indy. I think Brands Indy would be a great. Honestly, I don't even want Brands Hatch GP. I think I prefer Brands Indy again. That was really good. Let's go back and look at the schedule then, as we had that quick look at the track map here for Knockhill. This was the full schedule coming into the season. Donington Park, Brands Hatch, and it was supposed to be Alton Park at race number 3, but they actually changed over to Spa just so we could make sure that we had room for a 40-car field. That has since changed a little bit. We've had now Daytona, Knockhill, and they've come in a little bit smaller fields. Then Snetterton will be next week, Silverstone, Brands Hatch, and Mount Panorama. I like this portion of the schedule. Knockhill, Snetterton, Silverstone, and it's Silverstone National as well, that I believe touring cars run on in real life.
Yeah, this is an absolutely amazing schedule, and dare I say, Andrew, I'm not 100% sure, but for the first time ever, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't include Interlagos on a schedule as a personal preference. So this is just a fantastic one. I absolutely love it. And as you mentioned, this sequence of British racing courses is just fantastic. They're so different. They provide such similar great racing. It's just fantastic to see, and I'm pretty sure these drivers love it. They're pretty much at their home race course each and every single weekend, so I mean, how can you not love it?
It's been great stuff, and I hope this more British theme kind of stays. It's okay to vary it up, because I know it can get boring running the same tracks over and over. But for example, you can have Knockhill International, and this season and next season run International Reverse, and you can even run National Reverse for that little bit of difference. Since Knockhill does have those options, and in fact, if we talk about Knockhill specifically, we can actually kind of show what I'm talking about here. Taylor's gets cut down and gets rounded off. Actually, it makes the track just a little bit shorter, and that's the national layout. That's the only difference, really. It's just a little bit shorter. It's a slightly nicer corner, I think, for most cars, and you can run that forwards or backwards, either way. And of course, you have the tri-oval, which is just Taylor's. You just do a spinny circle around Taylor's, and of course, you have the Rallycross course here. I like this overly British feel, though. They don't have to maybe do 7 of 9 races in Britain, but all the British rounds are pretty nice. It's actually, look at this, we're already ready to go for race number 4. Excuse me, these guys have the motors humming, and we're racing for the 4th race of the day. James Clark and Fiona Siddons do get to start from pole. That surprises me. Tom Griffiths then in his 3rd as we roll through 1, 2, and 3 for the first time in race 4.
No contact looks like was made on the mid pack of the grid. It looks like everybody makes it through, even though we're going 3 wide on turn 3. That's absolutely insane. But looks like, as you can see, their headlights flashing over the chicane, going up and down as we could.
Mike, no,
there-
that is Nick Clibbins in the dirt, and one other
even
spins
more.
behind. That's Nathan Davies back there.
There's yet another car. So 3 cars fell victim of lap number 1. Not quite sure the extent of the damage amongst them, but as you can see now, we're gonna have a battle for second place, a battle for, looks like 7th on back. Well, lap number 1's nearly done as
Fiona Siddons is your
is
race
leading.
leader. After one lap at Knockhill, one car darts to the inside. I think that was Mark Oliver or Marcelo Packman, but Fiona Siddons leads lap 1.
That's a fantastic sight to see. She's leading lap 1. Well, unfortunately being chased by 2 pro drivers, so, well, we're going to have to see how she's going to tackle those attacks. As you can see, the rest of the field essentially in a single file right now as the top 3 kind of broke away from the rest of the grid.
Tom Griffiths follows James Clark up over turn 4. Working through the chicane now, bit of contact. One car was a ride there. I'm not sure exactly who that was. Oh, it was an 88 Tech car. That was Mark Oliver, who slams into Michael Lease, or Seal rather, Michael Lease. Michael Seal, there we go. And Seal gets back on. Oh my goodness. Oh, one car in the dirt. That is Michael Lease this time.
Oh, unfortunately for Michael Lees, looks like
I
he fell
jinxed
victim.
him.
Yeah, commentators curse. That's on Andrew this time. And unfortunately, luckily he's waiting to find a safely way back through the race course. There we go. Lets the final car go. Not the final car, as you can see, but unfortunately he's going to be falling into last place as Fiona Siddons with the fastest lap of the race, breaking away from the field. Andrew, Marcelo Paganin steals the fastest lap, but, well, she's over 1.2 seconds clear of second place.
Coming alive in this 4th race, certainly, as Tom Griffiths and James Clark do battle further back. Now, oh, we've got another crash. Julian Schroer in turn 3. And gets back on right in front of Jason Cooper. Thankfully, no contact there. Oh, look at that. Paul Donkin around there as well. My goodness, the hits keep coming.
Keeps coming. Looks like every driver is trying to get as many
Oh,
points
there we go.
as they can.
Contact. Douglas Stewart goes off. Tom Griffiths made contact with him. They get back on, and they will keep running. If Michael Lees, by the way, would like to lodge a complaint with Pit Stop TV over that one, I wouldn't say no. I would just say I'd prefer him not to, but I'll even provide the email address right there, Andrew@pitstoptv.com. Although you can, if you would like, also email us about joining the crew or joining on as a partner as look at this battle for second.
This battle for second is absolutely amazing. We were watching on the back of Fiona's car. As you can see, Clark retains that position for the time being. James Sharp trying to find a way. His teammate as well, Marcelo Paganin, trying to tag along to maybe both of them steal that second and third place of James Clark. As you can see, both of them, all 3 of them, absolutely riding those curbs on the chicane. It looks like they're going to be retaining this position as they head down into turn 7. Now, who's going to get the better exit? Is it going to be Clark? Is it going to be Sharp? Is it going to be Paganin? Looks like Clark didn't get the best of exits, and he's going to battle with Sharp as they headed down into turn 9.
All 4 of Fiona Siddons' amateur competition drivers, competitors, there we go, amateur competitors in this race are at the bottom of the order. Everything between her and the rest of her amateur competitors are the rest of your field. Literally, it is the top of the ticker is yellow, the bottom is yellow, and nowhere in between. Even if Fiona loses this top spot, which right now she is continuing to drive away from James Sharp, James Clark, and Marcelo Pagman, even if she's not able to hang on to a win, what a points grab in this 4th race.
Oh, absolutely. That would just be insane. Unfortunately, that gap is coming down rather quickly. Looks like Sharp is putting the pedal to the metal. As you can see now, that was Adam Dalmont trying to make his way through Fortula. Was that it? The number 7? No, that was James Neve. So James Neve, unfortunately, losing a position, trying to get it back. He's going to be falling victim of Lars Fischer as they're going to go side by side. As you can see, oh, Fiona Siddons maybe with problems already. So that gap went down from 1.5 to less than 0.3 of a second in 1 lap.
That's not what you want to see, unfortunately, but it's going to be okay, I think, for Fiona. Going to be second now as Sharp will absolutely get the pull on the straightaway. We'll take that spot at least for now, but still a really good run mounting here for Fiona Siddons. And again, if Fiona just keeps the car clean and doesn't get hit by anybody, it's going to be a really good 4th race. Right to the apex Fiona goes. James gives a wide berth, and they keep racing. Marcelo now going to have an opportunity to pass the 927.
Yeah, Marcelo's definitely going to be trying to line up. Fiona was really, really wide, not really wide, cutting a lot of the curb on the chicane. That's going to make her fall under victim for Marcelo Pagani as they go side by side into turn 7. Looks like Fiona's going to be losing that position as Andy McEwen is trying to make his way past Tom Griffiths. He's going to be switching to the, they're going to go 3 wide. He switched to the outside. Looks like Griffiths just closed the door. He's going to back off of it. Clark is going to be going deep, nearly hitting Fiona Siddons.
Ooh,
and look at McEwen.
What
Look
a
at
run
that
out of
exit.
Taylor's.
That was an absolutely beautiful exit. He's going to get the position over James Clark into 5th place. As looks like Fiona Siddons is going to go side by side. He's going to fight turn 1 with Tom Griffiths.
McEwen just gets in front of Clark for that spot. Fiona falls in behind Griffiths, and McEwen now going to have a look for turn 3, I'd say, at Fiona Siddons right up the inside. They're still trying to work it out. Andy's there, and now I think we'll have the spot into the chicane, and this is going to be tough for Fiona to try and hang on as these spots get easier and easier to lose as the rest of the field gangs up on that 927 car.
Yeah, unfortunately, after losing one spot, you just kind of fall victim, having compromised line, compromised exits. But just, you saw that Andrew Dalman really going wide on the exit of turn 7. He's defending from Clark, who's definitely not, willing to give up that position that easily. Lars Fischer, as well as the 513 of Glenn Humberstone, unfortunately towed back to the pit lane. That might just be race ending, day ending for him. As look at this, gaggle, I'll steal that word.
That is a well-lit pack as they work down the front stretch now. Past the paddock they'll go. Thor Tullo, James Clark, they lead the organized formation laps. Clark now tries to get him behind Tullo and it'll work. You can see Neve side by side with Holmes. Neve makes contact right down to the apex. Oh, just saves them from contact. Now Michael Steele going to go after it. And look at the teammates side by side. That's Cooper on the inside, Lars on the outside. Lars Fischer gives that spot up. Thor goes off the racetrack, gets back on right in front of James Clark. Clark going to take the line for turn 7. Lee Holmes going to try and follow suit. Thor goes off, gets back on.
Lee Holmes definitely trying to make something out of an accident, maybe a move. He's already side by side with Thor Tullo. They're going to go side by side into turn 9. Well, he's going to be forced. Lee Holmes just backs off of it. Is going to allow number 7 of James Neve to nearly go side by side with him. But look at Lee Holmes. Looks like he got a better exit out of turn 9 in a single file right now. Looks like not going to be challenging for Tullo this time. Might come under challenge into turn 1 though.
Neve looks maybe to the right side of Lee Holmes, stays behind. Michael Seal's been back there as well, and Seal's been very aggressive today. Got that race win earlier and has been aggressive ever since. As, oh man, you can see the 35 stepping out into the dirt a little bit. It was Lee Holmes who just got that race win, and now Thor Tullo way out in the dirt out of turn 6. Turn 7, how's it go for Clark for each of these guys? We're staying in line. Up front, James Sharp, still your race leader, in tandem with teammate Marcelo Pagnan. Third going the way of Andy McEwen now in a heated battle here with Tom Griffiths.
Tom definitely wants that 3rd place, trying to make his way any way he can over Andy McEwen in 3rd place. Well, they're just going to go side by side, one following one another. So who gives in on the pressure? I'm not pretty sure if we saw McEwen giving in to pressure, Andrew, before. So
When he comes
could
in,
this be the day? Oh, yeah, absolutely. But under pressure from another driver behind. Did he crack any time? I don't think he did. So Griffiths, well, he's definitely going to have to try to make this overtake going down the inside, outside, any way he can. Because I'm pretty sure Andy, well, he's not going to be fazed by it.
If you go and look at the standings as they come into this 4th race of the day, now we might have to actually get our 2nd page of standings out for the first time next week at Snetterton, as Mitchinson might just drop out of the top 20. But McEwen has actually lost the points lead by just a little bit coming into this final race of the day. The good news is he's well ahead of, I say well ahead, 2 spots ahead of Delmont. He needs Adam Delmont to have a bad 4th race of the day, and right now, the only thing Delmont's going to do is catch those 2 battling.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he just went
there we go. There we
Timing.
go. Absolutely what he doesn't need. So Delmont's doing absolutely what he needs to do to close the gap in the championship. And while he's closing the gap on track
Well,
as well.
Delmont's got it. It's a 6-point gap now. McEwen has fallen back. Cooper is now 3rd. Griffith's 4th. Casper DeCourt is 5th. That's how they came into this race.
Oh, there we go. So, yeah, my correction on there. As is now looks like we're focusing on Fiona Siddons, who just fell behind Lee Holmes. Oh, look at that car bouncing. Unfortunately, she's going to have to step on the brakes, lose yet another position to James Need. Now dropped all the way down to 9th place. Still 4 minutes to go, and you Could she hold down to a top 10? Not quite. Just as I mentioned, she's going to get a bad exit out of turn 7. And are we going 3 wide on the back straight?
Oh, my. Jason Cooper was a bit aggressive there, trying to push Tortulo over. They'll work into turn 9. Thor up the inside. He has that spot, maybe. And now Cooper is going to get back in behind Fiona. I think if Jason wants to go somewhere, he's got to work with Thor here. But I think Thor might have also had to slow down. Slots in behind those two now. So, you know what? I'll eat my words. And Cooper is going to move on past that 44 car and fight now into the top 10, trying to get on by 9th place Fiona Siddons, who hangs on yet one more lap in this top 10. Now, the amateur drivers that were further back, they've moved up a bit, as Michael Seal is now 23rd. He is out of this race, along with Glenn Humberstone and Adam Petman. That means that Michael Lees, Mark Oliver, and Kevin McGlone, they've made a few spots, but they are still the final 3 cars on this racetrack. What's interesting is Michael Lees has caught Adam McNally. Those are Excite Energy teammates as well. Oh, what a corner there.
Just as you mentioned, those 2 teammates, unfortunately, not so close to the top 10, not having the best of races. As you can see there, in 19th and 20th place, as you can see now on board with Michael Lees, not having the best of races for the amateur classes there, Andrew. Fiona's just walking away with points in this one.
How about the Pro-Am race right now? Because Douglas Stewart is leading that. This would be, if my memory serves me correctly, his first race win, in class at least. Douglas Stewart leading the way. Paul Duncan is second. Paul can easily, I think, get up here and battle for this Pro-Am win. Look at the gaggle in front of him in that orange car in the middle of all that. That's Douglas Stewart. So that's as far as Duncan needs to go to fight for this win. They all check up, gets real close to Clibbins here over the chicane, and he is properly in this battle.
Yeah, might just make a move down here into turn 7. Can he go deeper on the braking? Yes, he can. They're going to go side by side into turn 7. Clibbins retains that position even though he went wide. So looks like, well, still a 2-car, 1-car gap between the Pro-Am leaders. But that's not going to end so soon, Andrew. I'm pretty sure Donkin wants that win, at least a shot of that win. As you can see, as I mentioned, that gaggle of cars, that big group of cars. Looks like one of them, is that Fortulo, went really wide on exit. Not wide, got a really bad run.
You did just see Griffiths go purple. He sits in 4th behind McEwen. So that battle is coming alive. Delmont's fallen back a little bit, it looks like, but Lee Holmes is in no position to try and pass him just yet. 2 minutes to go. These races have gone an expected 17 laps twice. One of them was 16, and that was race number 2 when Seal won. Does this one go the full 17 laps? We'll see. Fiona Siddons leading this train, really. You can see this group. That is Douglas Stewart trying to get by, and it looks like Douglas sets up turn 7 brilliantly. It will have an opportunity to do so. Railway bend here, and actually Jason Cooper's leading. No, that's Lars Fisher in 10th leading it. Fiona Siddons has just dropped into 11th, now going to lose 12th to Douglas Stewart, but still leading the way in amateur as Michael Lees gets ever so slightly closer, and Thor. Yeah, you saw it. Makes a little bit of contact there.
Just a little bit of contact. This is not helping Paul Donkin, who at one point was just 1 car away from the Pro-Am leader, now faces 3 cars difference with 1 minute 20. Might just be slipping away that win. As you can see here, big couple of cars as we're now on board with Paul Donkin. And he looks like he got that position done, so ahead of Thor Tulo. So he's up to 14th place. Only 2 cars between him and the leader of his class is now on board with Thor Tulo. Maybe it's going to be trying to get that position. Well, definitely wants to get that position. Oh, Paul Donkin got a slowdown.
Paul Donkin drops on back behind Thortullo. You can't have that happen if you're going to go for a race win. Clibbins gets contact there with Fiona Siddons, it looks like, and Clibbins goes well off the race course. Right, there's the rallycross course. You can see it where it comes back onto the rest of the international course. Just barely gets back on in front of his Excite Energy teammate in Adam McNally. Let's go back up front. We should get the white flag next time around for each of these guys, and look at McEwen. He's gotten close. If you're McEwen, this is a prime opportunity to keep your championship season alive right now. You do not want to let Delmont leave this race with the points lead. That's a bit of dirt there for McEwen, but Andy can still win this race. We'll have the white flag next time, and he's looking at the top 2.
Absolutely. He got a great run out of turn 7. Can he maybe go down the inside of turn number 9, and they made the way through turn number 8, as you can see, Pagnan just on the middle of the road. That's going to throw McEwen off. He's going to be lining, trying to get a better exit. As you can see, is that Tom Griffiths behind?
It is, and Delmar right behind.
Yeah, Delmar. No, race is over, Andrew. James Sharp is going to win.
That should not have concluded the race, but it does. That is it. Sharp wins, and it's Pagnan, McEwen, and Griffiths I don't recall ever seeing a white flag graphic, but that's it. Douglas Stewart will come across in a moment to win in Pro-Am. Paul Donkin in second for Pro-Am. Fiona Siddons is going to get another amateur win. Wow.
Wow, indeed. That race maybe was just cut a lap too short from one of the best battles we could have had for the lead. But boy, oh boy, was it still fun. The whole top 10 Pro-Am, as you mentioned, Douglas Stewart winning the Pro-Am class. And Fiona Siddons again winning. That's just a great sight to see.
That was a wild, wild fourth race. Glad to end on a high note there with some really great racing. James Sharp is going to take victory in that one. And I think that is well earned, staying ahead of Marcelo Pagnan and Andy McEwen like that. Griffiths was closing in, Delmont as well, and McEwen will get a few points back, but I don't think it's going to be enough to take that lead back away. I think he's still going to be just barely second in the points to Adam Delmont. So here's a look at the drivers as they come back down the front stretch. Let's go ahead and pull up results and take a look at how this race works out. Race number 4, James Sharp wins it by just that little bit over teammate Marcelo Pagnan, who I think might have defended a bit for him there for that race win. Andy McEwen takes third, then it's Tom Griffiths, Adam Delmont, Lee Holmes, Jason Cooper, James Clark, James Neve, and Lars Fisher. All three of the James, they finished in the top 10 in that race.
In 11th place, we're going to have the Pro-Am winner, Douglas Stewart, finishing 11th. Thor Tulo in the number 44 is going to be finishing 12th place, ahead of Casper DeCord and Paul Donkin. Fiona Siddons, our amateur winner, is going to be finishing 15th place. Nick Clibbins in 16th place, ahead of Adam McNally. Nathan Davies is going to be finishing 18th place, ahead of Julian Schroer and Mikhail Lees, who's a second place finisher in the amateur class.
And finishing 21st, and then second in amateur, that's Mark Oliver with Kevin McGlone just behind. Michael Seal ends up out of the race early, 23rd. Overall here in race number 4, that's going to be a big hit to the points. Glenn Humberstone there in 24th, and Adam Petman in 25th. It's a shame that Arwen Graham didn't continue on throughout the day. Would have liked to have seen her continue on and make up some points. Arwen is now in 46th, just ahead of R Pink, and I don't recall an R Pink, but I'll take their word for it. As let's see how. I'm curious about the points. Where was Michael Seal coming into that one? Seal was 7th. That might drop him down there right with Thor Tulo, depending on how they all work out. That was a really, really interesting day of racing, and the amateur winner is right back ready for you again, JP. It is Fiona Siddons.
So Fiona, I hope to talk to you again after the race ended, and here we are in yet again another race win. How was race number 4 for you?
Firing. I was breaking away at the start, and then I started catching. I'd got the commentary on in the background, and I could tell from the commentary all the AM drivers was miles back, so I didn't fight too hard when they come.
So using a bit of strategy, were you defending too hard over the pro drivers, or were you just like letting them go, knowing you have that big of a gap?
Yeah, I was just I wasn't just letting them go. I was making them fight for it, but I didn't fight too hard to stay in front of them.
Well, absolutely. And when you look back on those 2 races that you didn't win, unfortunately, today, how would you do anything differently? Maybe on the experience that you got over these 2 wins, maybe just attack a few drivers differently, attack a few corners?
I don't think I did anything different. I mean, one race I lost the back end, which was my fault. I don't think I'd do anything different.
Oh, absolutely. If you didn't, it works out 2 ways, and you got 2 victories. Now you definitely got a whole bag of points. Andrew's definitely going to be ready to, update us as soon as he can over the amateur points. But when we look towards next week, how confident are you, especially with the results you got?
Yeah, I'm confident now. Hopefully get some good results again next week. I know going into this race 4, I was 8 points off the lead. So I should be in the lead now, but obviously driver who was first isn't here tonight.
Also, that might just mean you're in the lead. So with that being said, I mean, next week should be a treat for you. Hopefully we can see you then. Before I let you go, anyone who have to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank my son and daughter-in-law and everybody who's involved with the series.
Well, there we go. I'm pretty sure they're excited with your result because we definitely are here in the commentary booth. With that being said, I'm going to let you focus for Thursday's race, and hopefully we can talk to you plenty then.
I won't be here Thursday. I've got to take my son to a kickboxing sign up for charity, what he's doing.
Oh, well, unfortunately, we're not going to be talking to you, but it's for a great cause as well. So with that being said, hopefully we can talk to you next Tuesday.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, there you go. So, well, Fiona, I wish you the best of luck and talk to you then.
Yeah, catch you later.
Well, Andrew, that was Fiona Siddons, two-time winner here. That's something nice to say.
Yeah, two-time winner on the day. I think that's now 3 on the season. And then didn't she get a win last week at Daytona in class? So, yeah, the wins are now starting to come Fiona's way. Let's move on down the line. We've got a whole lot more drivers lining up to talk to us. In fact, it looks like 3 more. And let's actually grab one of the other amateur drivers here. It's going to be Michael Leese. And Michael, you finally got that win, but what happened in, what was it, race 2, where we thought you got the win and you got flipped back to the rear? What was the penalty?
Right, so I was defending from Mr. Cooper, Jason, for a while, and he ended up tapping me, spinning me round, and I didn't realise I had as many incident points as I did, and on the last lap, I got an off-track, and it gave me a drive.
So,
yeah.
So being oh so close to not only, well, the win in amateur, but also the pole, well, not I guess not the pole, but you got put back one position behind the pole after the penalty. How do you guys play the inverts? Is there any way to play the inverts? Obviously, we randomize it. We see it live on the broadcast. Is there any way for you guys to play that at all?
I mean, I'm sure other people do, but for me, being it's my first season sim racing, I've only been iRacing since the end of November. I'm just going for it and just enjoying myself for now. This is my learning season, and then next season is going to be the one where I properly give it a good go.
And so what is the goal then to move up into Pro-Am? How do you show these guys that you can kind of work up the way, or do you want to stay in amateur?
Next season I will probably be staying in amateur if they'll allow me to, because most of the tracks that we're doing, these are the first times I've been on any of these tracks, so I'm having to learn them as we go. So next season, if we're running different tracks, I'm going to be in the same position I'm in right now. So yeah, hopefully they'll let me stay, and if they do, next season is going to be the one when I make a charge for the championship, and if I get it, then we'll start looking at moving up.
And how do you try and, I guess, prove to everybody, or even prove to yourself, that you belong in this league and in these battles for race wins and maybe even Pro-Am down the road? How do you try and prove yourself in this series?
Well, sometimes I question that myself. Do I belong here? I don't know, and occasionally you think, yeah, I've got the pace, I'm good, and then, another time you'll make a stupid mistake, and you'll end somebody's race or something. It happens to me as well, when you're driving along thinking you're not doing anything wrong, and then, the what will be after the drop rounds championship leader shunts you in the back and sends you off the track. So it's one of those things. I'm just going to keep my head down. I'm going to try and keep it as clean as I possibly can. I'm learning racecraft, all the time. And hopefully, I can start moving my way up the order and scoring some points rather than getting penalties.
Well, that is certainly the hope. We'll see how you do next week at Setterton. Best of luck to you out there.
I appreciate it. Oh, by the way, it's Michael.
Michael, yeah, I thought we were saying that.
You were. Your friend.
Oh, was it Mikkel a couple of times?
Yeah.
Well, we know now. It is 100% Michael. I was thinking about asking, but I didn't want to take up too much of your time. We appreciate your time, though, Michael. Best of luck to you next week at Setterton.
That's all good. Thank you for having me.
That's Michael Lees finishing in the 4th race of the day, 20th spot. As low as 24th, though. So made up a couple of spots there at the end. And we'll move on down the line now to the one and the only Andy McEwen.
So Andy came so close to a second place on the final lap. Just talk us through it. It came at us. We thought it was 2 laps to go, but it wasn't. How close was it?
Tell you what, I'm going to start a petition this week to extend these races to 17 minutes, because if it had been another lap, I think I might have got them. But Oh man, that was fun. I love Knockhill. It's such a cool track, and honestly, it wasn't half as chaotic as I thought it'd be out there. So yeah, really enjoyed the night. Enjoyed chasing down those two little bumblebees out in front, but yeah, just couldn't quite get there in time.
And you mentioned how great this racetrack is. You know, I guess I'm gonna say it for me and Andrew. We absolutely love it. How different is racing here compared to Daytona last week?
It's funny because I thought I would love Daytona because I love the slipstream and I love, you know, all of that 3-4 wide stuff, and then I had a shocking night. So I came here expecting it to be the exact opposite, and I've had so much more fun. You've really got to think about it. You know, on the face of it, you'd think being aggressive is the way to go and just diving to you know, late on the brakes, getting to the apex first. But the best way to overtake is to get the good exit from the corners, try and force someone to defend, make a mistake, and yeah, that's quite fun. I enjoy getting in people's heads and trying to make them run a bit wide and open the door, and yeah, that's the best way to move forward.
Oh, absolutely. That's just so much fun. Obviously, you know, this might be a similar circuit to what we're coming to next week. So how do you prepare? Do you change a lot of the training or just tackle the same way as you do?
I'm such a pro that I have forgotten where we're racing next week. Is it Snetterton next week?
Yes.
Ah, yes, there we go. Oh, well, no, Snetterton's the exact opposite. It's flat as a pancake, it's lots of long straights, and I've never raced there before in iRacing. I don't even own the track yet, so I'm probably not the right person to ask. I don't really know what to expect, but I think it'll be good. You'll be back to the slipstreaming, but that infield section's quite technical, so yeah, that should be the best of both worlds, hopefully, there.
Oh, so it's going to be a mix of Daytona and Knockhill. Well, I'm definitely up for it.
Yeah, something like that. It's certainly a fun place. It's you know, it looks like quite a simple track when you look at a map of it, but it actually always produces good racing, so I'm sure that'll be the case.
I mean, you guys always produce good racing no matter where you guys go. Obviously, you mentioned that you don't even own the track yet, so how do you change? Do you practice a lot with your teammates? Do you guys practice on open lobbies? How does it affect not owning and never racing there on iRacing?
Well, it's a bit tricky, really, because there was a time when Year 1 Racing would have 5 or 6 drivers in this championship. That's not really the case now. It's kind of just me and, you know, occasionally I've got 1 or 2 others that join me. But I do no practice. I jump on a Monday night for the fun race night that we put on. We have 3 races around whatever track we're racing, and a lot of the BSR drivers come together. And that's kind of it, really. But I prefer it that way. I hate hot lapping. I hate practice. If I'm in a race, I enjoy it, and I learn so much more from a race than I ever would a test session. So yeah, no practice during the week, and then just wing it on a Tuesday night.
Oh, that's absolutely something great to know. And well, it's insane that you have this pace, not practicing a whole lot. But yeah, I mean, with that being said, I'm gonna let you do the exact same, I guess, for next week, and hopefully we can talk to you then. But before I let you go, who do you have to thank? Who do you have to shout out?
Yeah, thanks again to Year 1 Racing, and you know, it's a shame that we don't have more of them racing here in the championship. But you should come along, guys. I know they all watch the stream, so they need to come along and help me out, because I need a bit of backup going after those Hexite cars, I think. But yeah, thanks to the team and everyone. I know there's a couple of people watching. I think my mum might be watching tonight, actually. So if you are, hello.
Well, absolutely. I'm pretty sure they're happy to watch you because you did an amazing race today. And well, with that being said, hopefully we can talk to you next week.
Yeah, I'm gunning for a race win. I haven't won one yet, so that's my target for next week. Hopefully I'll speak to you then.
I'm sure it's coming, Andy, and we're definitely looking forward to it as well.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
I'll end you. Andrew. That was a mix between both of them. Andrew, that was Andy McEwen. Well, he sounds excited. Unfortunately, that race win did not come just yet, but who knows? Maybe next week will come.
I think it's on the way. Anytime you're battling with drivers who have the name Movano on their cars, they're going to be good. In this case, SRC Movano for James Sharp and Marcelo Pagden. They are good drivers. They are certainly deserving of battling for race wins. So I think it's coming for Andy McEwen in the coming weeks. I don't know if it's going to be Snetterton necessarily. I don't know what to expect from Snetterton either, but I guess we'll find out in 1 week's time. Again, the rest of the broadcast this week here in just a little while, a couple hours, in fact, and a little over 90 minutes, really. We've got the North iRacing series. I am so excited to get back out there with those guys. I've not raced with them since season 12, and now we've only gone through season 13, but this honestly feels a bit more like season 14, so it's been a while. And even in season 12, it wasn't full-time. It was rare that I raced with them, so it's really been since season 11 that I feel like I've raced with these guys, and that was back in 2020. So it's been since the start of the pandemic, really, that I've raced with these guys. It's going to be a lot of fun after having covered all of 2021 with them and most of the Nortona Speed Week so far. It's going to be a lot of fun getting back out there, and it's going to bring some old times back to, I guess, short memory. But we've got the Nork iRacing Series this evening. That is the Nork National 300. So it's NASCAR Xfinity Series cars for 300 miles. That's 120 laps later this evening at Daytona. And then tomorrow, we have a quick rest. We get right back to it, JP. We've got the Ferrari GT3 Challenge at 7:45 UK time. That is 2:45 Eastern. By all means, guys, enter that official race. You have to register between 7:15 and 7:45 UK or 2:15 and 2:45 Eastern, and you can make it into that race. And if you're top split, we'll have the broadcast for you. You can come into our Discord and talk with us after. Then Thursday, of course, it's BSR TC, Knockhill Racing Circuit, right back to it here at Knockhill, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. This is always fun. Tomorrow's going to be a new one for me as well, but I mean, it's just going to be so much fun seeing those Ferraris on an Italian race course. Just fantastic. And obviously, to follow us and watch everything, to keep up to date on all these series, you should follow us on social media at facebook.com/pitstoptv, twitter.com/pitstoptv_, instagram.com/pit_stop_tv, and youtube.com/pitstoptv1.
A lot of great ways to keep in contact with us here at Pit Stop TV, and we certainly recommend you do so as we get ready to close down the evening for the British Sim Racers. We thank you for tuning in. We thank you for joining us this evening from the virtual Knockhill Racing Circuit in Scotland. It's been a lot of fun, but as with everything, it must come to an end. JP on the call with me this evening. Buddy, thank you for being here. Thank everybody else for tuning in. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV, and we'll be right back to you in just about 90 minutes with coverage of the Nork iRacing Series. You will want to be there, and we hope to see you there. We'll see you then.